so is Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Expendables 2. I can't wait to see that. In the 80s and 90s, nobody kicked as much ass and coined as many catchphrases as he did. And now that he's coming back to do a little more acting, I think it's an appropriate time to look at some NES games based on his movies. NES, a console so influential in the side-scrolling action genre. Now pair that with one of the biggest action movie stars, and you've a match made in heaven. How could you go wrong? I don't know. Take this game for example, Total Recall. I remember my first time playing it as a kid. It was a Friday night, my homework was all done, my mom took me to the video store, I read this game, I took it home, man, I played it, and it just fucking pissed me off and ruined my whole goddamn weekend! Total Recall. Total fucking shit. The concept is quite simple. You're Arnold trying to make your way to the end of the stage while defending yourself with this short little stubby punch. That's all you get. I do like how everybody you punch flies off the screen. You know what I hate? You'll be running past an alleyway and some random asshead pulls you in. Now you gotta fight these bastards half your height that moon jump all over the place. Get back here, you fucknut! Then there's this part with these mysterious holes with things coming out. Now I know what we're all thinking of. Glory holes, alright? You go into your apartment where you fight your wife. Yeah, remember that scene in the movie with Sharon Stone? Man, that was some domestic violence right there. You get the gun and finish her off with bullets, which seem to take no more damage than your fists. Next, this jackass starts shooting an infinite stream of bullets that force you to stay down. Also, he seems immune to gunfire. That doesn't help the situation. Great, I like what they did here. Good one. Well, I found out he can't die. You're supposed to run for the door. If you can gun down your wife fast enough, you can potentially do it before this cockface shows up. Come to think of it, just realize you're playing an NES game where you shoot your wife. I can see that going over well with the parents. Hey son, what are you playing? I'm playing Nintendo. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I just shot my wife. You know what? This X-ray stage is awesome. And I do appreciate how they've tried to follow the movie. With a cerebral plot like Total Recall, that's not such an easy adaptation to make. There's so many scenes from that movie that left an impression on me since I was a kid. It was one of the first R-rated movies I've ever seen. I remember the alien with the 3 tits and the guy coming out of the stomach and the eyeballs popping out on the surface of Mars and Arnold trying to rip that tracking device out through his nose. If you're expecting to see any of that in the game, then you're just out of your mind. Why are there balls and chains falling in the alleys? Why are you beating up on homeless people? Why are the dogs hanging on me like a turd stuck to a poodle's ass? Get it off! The best part in the game is when you go into a movie theater and watch the movie that the game is based on. It's just a credit crawl for all the game designers to laugh in your face. I miss Fred Fox. Wouldn't that be a better game if you just go into a theater and watch the movie instead? I've already talked about the Terminator games, and they suffered the same fate. The first Terminator had some of the worst controls in existence. The only way to fire the gun is to crouch into this gun mode, and jumping around requires extreme accuracy. The second game was a monotonous button masher, where enemies take 1,000 punches, and there were platforms you can't jump on, like some kind of prank. I'm still holding out for that awesome 8-bit Schwarzenegger game. Next I'm going to try Last Action Hero, because they can't all be bad, right? It uses cutscenes with images taken from the movie, but they look like garbage. The contrast is so intense you can't even tell what you're looking at. What is this, a dead fish? A porcupine's back? Oh, it's the top of some guy's head. Damn, it looks like the NES just vomited all over your TV screen. How does it look this bad? I know this is only 8-bit, but I've seen much better. Even with Total Recall, Arnold's face on the title screen actually looks like him. Hell, even the E.T. game on Atari 2600 actually looks like E.T. On the title screen at least, but God, I can't talk about that game. Anyway, back to Last Action Hero. The in-game graphics are even worse. Who is that? Is that supposed to be Arnold Schwarzenegger? It looks nothing like him. It looked way better in Total Recall. Not a perfect resemblance, but for 8-bit, it's a hell of a lot better than this shit. I wish I could say more about the gameplay, but there's nothing to say. You run around and beat people up. That's it. There's nothing wrong with simplicity if it's done well, but this ain't no Double Dragon. This is bottom of the barrel, button mashing trash. The hit detection is lousy and there's zero strategy. When you come up to an enemy, you just have to tap buttons and pray for the best. It's almost impossible to kill someone without taking some damage yourself. And if you don't move fast enough, another enemy respawns in its place immediately. So you have to keep moving. Don't even stop. It's better to run through somebody and take a hit, rather than put up a fight and take several hits. Look at these guys. They keep coming. Whoever programmed this game, you can go eat a bowl of fuck. I think it was made by the Assholians from the planet Ass. You know what else I hate? When you pause the game, the music doesn't stop. Seems trivial, but that's really a pet peeve of mine. I'm really starting to appreciate the Total Recall game. At least it had more variety. Sure, the stages look different, and it's nice that they all come from the movie and not from some lunatic's imagination. They even included the Hamlet dream scene. But that's not real variety. It's just a change in the look and design and not in the way the game is actually played. End of story. Last Action Hero sucks a dick. This is not going well at all. We gotta find a good Schwarzenegger game, or else this is gonna be a great stain on the pages of gaming history. Conan, or Conan, whichever you prefer. This one, I don't know how they could fuck up. Oh, that's how. Make it look like shit and give it the most inexcusably god-awful controls that gaming technology could allow. I can't even explain how broken the controls feel. All I can say is, it's bad, as in Dark Castle bad. You don't have any idea. You're looking at it, but you haven't experienced it unless you pick up a controller yourself. Trust me, you don't want to. This will make you so angry you're gonna want to punch a Siberian tiger in the fucking balls! Wanna know the basics? Check this out. A and B both attack. That's fine, but to jump, you press up. That's pretty shitty already, but that's not all. What do you think happens when you press down? Take a guess. You think duck? No, it jumps. You press down to jump. Whoever came up with that idea is a real cocksucker. Sucks cock. Who presses down to jump? Down should be for ducking, and this is not an ordinary jump either. It's a forward jump. Anyone with common sense would do this by pressing up and right, but not in this game. You can't even attack while you're in midair. To pick up a weapon, you have to press down and A, but you can't press them both at the same time. You have to hit A slightly before you press down, or else down makes you jump forward. I can't help but press down by accident because of my natural instincts. It wouldn't be so bad if down didn't make you jump away from the weapon, which is the complete opposite of what you're trying to do. The hit detection is even worse than Last Action Hero. It only hits if they're as close to you as possible. You don't get much range when you're trying to stab the skeletons in the dick with the sword. It's as if the sword is going through them. Maybe the sword is imaginary and you're only hitting them with your fists? I don't know. Within 5 minutes or less, you come to a dead end. A boss that you can't kill. Great. Using the sword doesn't work because you can't get close enough without instantly dying. The fireballs would be great theoretically because it's a projectile weapon, but there's no feasible spot to throw them. You can't throw them while jumping, and if you stand still, you're too low to hit the boss. Imagine having bought this game for $50 and getting stuck in the first 5 minutes. Thanks to the internet, I was able to find that you're supposed to kill the boss with a pitchfork. You get the pitchfork from a devil that only appears if you get the sword and cut down a hanging skeleton, which I assumed was there for decoration. Fuck you and your cryptic bullshit. In true Dragon's Lair fashion, the first stage is a mindfuck. The devil isn't that easy to kill either. He keeps teleporting all over the place, and the rest of the enemies keep respawning, so you end up wasting all your energy trying to keep these fuckers off your back. You know what's really annoying? The following stages are more straightforward. Why put the cryptic stage in the beginning? To prevent kids from being able to play the rest of the game?
Who'd want to play it anyway? I'd rather have a Sasquatch sit its ass on my face and shoot diarrhea down my throat. I'm dead fucking serious. What a shitload of fuck. What were they thinking? You know what the worst part about it is? I don't think it's really supposed to be based off the Conan the Barbarian movie. Just the character. So it's not really a Schwarzenegger game. And I just wasted my fucking time.
I might as well play Commando. Has nothing to do with the Schwarzenegger movie, but at least the game is good. It's hard as shit, but it's 100 times more playable than any of these other disasters.
Alright, one last game, one last chance for the Schwarzenegger NES library to redeem itself. Predator. How could this be bad? It's fucking Predator. You look at the cover and think, yeah, this game's gonna be awesome. This is a real man's game. This game will turn you into a sexual tyrannosaur. Like me. Is he wearing pink? Why'd they put him in pink? Did they see the movie? He doesn't wear pink in the movie. That's not an appropriate army color.
I don't know. Maybe he's in pink to stand out from the dull graphics. The graphics are as ugly and dirty as this game's mom. This game sucks so bad the enemy soldiers commit suicide. In addition to the enemy soldiers, you must also face scorpions, which you can stand on and they take you for a ride. But only the green scorpions. Well, you thought you could ride on a red scorpion? What are you, crazy? Wow, they sure followed the movie pretty closely. You know the plot. A special forces team led by Alan Dutch Schaefer, dressed in hot pink, go on a mission to rescue hostages in Central America. They are hunted by piranha balloons, plants that spit fireballs, Lolos or Shy Guys, chickens with skull masks, giant bacteria, Metroids, and birds that crap blood. Now I know 2 NES games with birds that crap blood, the other being Daydreaming Davy. What about the Predator? Well, yeah, just about every stage boss is a Predator. You kill more Predators in this game than the Predator kills people in the movie. If that's all you do is hunt down Predators, then the Predator isn't really a Predator, it's prey. And doesn't he look familiar? He looks just like the Ninja Turtles in the first Turtles game. Anyway, he's the easiest boss in the history of gaming. You go over here and just keep attacking him. He'll never come and hit you, not once. Keep doing that, and that's it. Did they even test this shitty game before they released it? This is another one of those games where the music doesn't stop when you pause. Even worse, if you press any button while paused other than start, you will self-destruct. This can be handy if you find yourself stuck somewhere due to faulty game design. Like here, I'm stuck in the damn rocks. So rather than working out the bugs, they decide to include a suicide button. This is dangerous because whenever the game's paused, you have to be careful not to push the wrong button. Don't pause it and then pass it to your buddy whose thumb accidentally touches the A or B button and kills off your last life faster than you could say oops. Another major inconvenience is that every time you die, you have to make sure to pick continue.
If you pick start, your game is forever lost and you have to go all the way back to the beginning. And sooner or later, when you keep playing this long enough, you're going to make a mistake. It doesn't help that they put the cursor on start by default, and you can't select by using the D-pad. You have to use the select button, which is right next to the start button, increasing your risk of fucking it up. That is some sadistic bullshit.
You can't duck and punch, and that's just great, because most of the enemies are down on the ground. You can get a gun. It's immediately at the start of the game, but it's easy to miss because it's up in a tree. It's called Mick Gun or MC Gun, like MC Hammer, but this is MC Gun. Want to hear some horse shit? when you finish the level, the gun is gone, so you can't keep it from one stage to the next. Once you have the gun, you better not walk into a fist, or else you go back to punching. Of course, the game has to be as obnoxious as possible by putting these fists in areas that are hard to get around. Oh no, 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 no. Good. The grenades are the kind of weapon you do not want to get, but they're necessary in breaking through obstructed paths. If you don't calculate these bomb blasts perfectly, you end up building your own death trap. Look, I just created a hole. If I fall down there, I die. But I need to blow away that one last piece so I can go forward. What makes this more difficult is that you can't be near a grenade when it explodes because it hurts you.
Come on, come on, come on. Come on. No! This game blows ass. Sucks duck cunt. Fucking shit munching bunch of pile of poop.
These stages are designed with no rhyme or reason. Doesn't it look like I can go in this door? Well, I can't. This house is just part of the background. You can never tell what's background and what's not. Right here, I can fall through the grass just because it's a darker green. Could they just make it black like the background so it actually looks like a hole? There's no clear indication what you can step on and what you can't. Gotta get away from the grenade! Fuck! I didn't know I would go through this platform. You're kidding me. You can fall through the walls? That's like if you could fall through the staircase in your own house. Look, the bird got stuck. This game is so messed up, even the enemies can't play it. The layouts to these stages make no sense. There's a laser gun. I can't get it because there's rocks around it, so I need the grenade first. But the grenade is all the way near the final door, so why would I backtrack to get a gun when I'll lose it after I go through the door anyway? Come on, fucking grenades! All you can do is keep throwing them and hoping they stick to the rocks.
Come on, you piece of shit! Finally.
You gotta be kidding me. All of a sudden, it looks like I'm playing a completely different game. Arnold is much bigger now, and would you believe they call this section of the game Big Mode? How creative. So now he's wearing green? Aw, maybe because pink wouldn't stand out as much from the purple background? As if this game has standards all of a sudden. Watch out for the bubbles! How could bubbles kill you? Maybe when you're so masculine, little sissy things like bubbles become your kryptonite. And guess what? You can't pause during Big Mode. If you could pause in the rest of the game, why not now? Did a completely different person program this part? Why does there need to be platforms when you can jump as high as the top of the screen? Why are you always moving even when you're crouching? Why do you shoot little Atari pellets? You can upgrade the gun with these power-ups that appear when you shoot things, but they're hard to get because they go right, and once they're off the screen, they're out of existence. This forces you to wait for projectiles to come as close as possible so that the power-ups don't appear all the way to the right of the screen and you end up losing them. Why do they go right? Everything else goes left. At the end of Big Mode, you fight a predator, then the game goes back to normal. Every 5 levels or so, you'll have to play another Big Mode, each with a different colored background. Yay. Jumping blocks is always fun. Every muscle in your body tenses when you jump. I don't want to overshoot it. I don't want to overshoot it. I'm just trying to be careful. Ah! Oh no, I gotta bomb all this shit? And avoid projectiles at the same time?
This is some intense shit. Come on. Almost there. Almost there. Come on. Fuck! Alright, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oops, I hit start. I hit start. I gotta go all the way back to the beginning. Ah! Fuck, 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 fuck. Shit! Damn! I'm seeing red. I'm gonna beat this fucker right now. Oh my god, I'm so fucking mad. I could take a chainsaw to a fucking baby's neck right now. I could kick a baby pony. Out of my way, I'm gonna fuck you up. Fucking game, I'm gonna fucking kill it. Your mother, your father, your uncle. Yeah, I'm at the final boss, and it's a big predator head that looks like Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles. Shit. Shit the bed, come on. You stop shooting that shit at me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. So I'm not playing around, I'm not fucking around here. I'm not fucking around. Oh, the mask is off now. Now it's serious. Now it's fucking fuck time. Oh my god, I gotta fucking win before I have a heart attack. I did it! I won! I beat Predator! Oh man. Oh boy. Congratulations, you have survived. Barely. Happy Halloween. And guess what I have here? I was doing an autograph signing not too long ago, and one of my fans hands me this piece of paper. It's a petition to review Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah, he went through the line and got everybody to sign it. Now, what's there to say about Ghosts and Goblins? Well, it's not a bad game. It's made by Capcom, so how could it? But it's one of the most difficult games in the NES library. This game is harder than fossilized Triceratops turds. I'm talking Mega Man combined with Castlevania, that kind of hard. Games this ruthless and unforgiving should be illegal. And I've never gotten to petition or review any other game. That's a true testament to its infamous legacy and the eternal frustration that scarred us all since childhood. I remember my first time playing it. I got it for my birthday, the same day I got my NES.
Like Ghosts and Goblins? Yeah, I do. Look, I do.
Of course, I had the Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt combo cartridge, but the first game I attempted was Ghosts and Goblins. That's right, this is the first NES game I ever played. And that's one hell of a game to start with.
Yeah, we gotta shoot him. I don't know how.
Naturally, I got my ass kicked. This is what it would have looked like my first time playing the game. I sucked balls. This new console was way different than the Atari 2600 I was accustomed to. In the 80s, these were the kind of brutal-ass games that kicked us into shape and heightened our senses. Made us into fucking tigers! And now, 25 years later, I'm gonna put my gaming skills to the ultimate test and see if I can finally beat this fucker. Because it's Halloween. There's no excuse. I can feel in the air the time is right to play some Ghosts and Goblins. It begins with one of the most shocking intros in video game history. A couple just got done having sex in a cemetery. I'm not even kidding. What else does it look like? He's not wearing clothes. Next thing, Satan shows up as if saying, yeah, I want to get in on some of that, and takes her away. That's the plot. Is that the greatest opening to an NES game or what? So you get suited up in your knight's armor and set off to rescue your girlfriend, fighting off a never-ending army of ghosts and goblins, and zombies, and devils, and ravens, and dragons, and squealing ghosts that look like pigs in a blanket. Yeah, I guess they couldn't fit all that in the title. Of all the enemies, the red devils are probably the most annoying. They stay up in the air like a little sissy, and then swoop down. That's the only chance you have to hit them, but that's also when you're bound to get killed. If you try to outrun them, they will chase you all the way through the stage. You encounter the first devil in the middle of stage 1. This guy is a beginner's trap that's bullied unsuspecting gamers, and its arcade cousin stole more quarters than you could imagine. First time playing this game, I figured he must be the final boss. Nowadays, it's silly to imagine a game being that short, but back then, I was accustomed to Atari. The
The idea of a game lasting longer than 5 minutes was beyond my comprehension.
My only clue was that every time you die, you're shown a map screen letting you know how much of the game is left. It's only 6 levels plus a final boss stage. Doesn't sound that hard, but just you wait. Your starting weapon is a javelin. It flies in a straight line and kills whatever it hits. Seems like a good deal, right? Well, you'll learn how useless it is once you get to the first level boss, which the instruction manual calls a unicorn. Yeah, it looks just like a unicorn, doesn't it? Anyway, this guy takes 1,000,000 hits. You need a faster weapon, like the knife. The knife is the only weapon that's fit to the challenges that lie ahead. Now we're in level 2. This is where shit starts to get criminally insane. How do you like jumping around on platforms, taking leaps of faith while avoiding tiny enemies and projectiles? Next, these little bastards come flying out of windows. Then you're navigating ladders while fighting these big guys that squat and drop shits and take about as many hits as the unicorn. If you didn't get the knife in level 1, don't even try. That's my words of wisdom. Anyone who wants to get far in this game, my rules are: number 1, get the knife. Number 2, get the knife. Number 3, get the knife. You want to cut steak with a plastic spoon? No, get the knife. I can't stress it enough. They'd lock me up in an asylum. Get the knife, get the knife. Ah, fuck my uncle. You see that? That's a flame weapon. That thing sucks. It's the second worst weapon in video game history aside from the cane in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It always misses your target, and if 2 of them land, you have to wait for the flames to die out before you can throw any more. You don't want it. But look, it's sitting on top of the only ladder that goes down. The weapons don't go away, they just sit there. Even if you run far away, then come back, the weapon is still there. You're probably thinking, why not just get the flame and then die? Well, when you die, you keep the weapon. It never changes until you find a different weapon. That's bullshit, but on the plus side, when I have the knife, I get to keep that too. You know what I had to do? I had to reset the game and get the knife in level 1 all over again. And then guess what? The flame appears again! It's a trap. Well, I figured it out. The flame appears when you get to the top floor, which you don't have to do. You can stay on the second to top floor and progress to the right. So that's my other tip. Don't let the flame appear on level 2. Speaking of weapons, there's also an axe, which I found deep into level 6. Want to know what that does? Well, I'm not getting it. The level 2 boss is 2 unicorns. Did I mention get the knife? Level 3. You know what makes this level hard? The devils. The whole stage is an endurance marathon of devils. This is where you start to realize exactly what makes the game so difficult. It's because you can only get hit twice. No, it doesn't have all the pitfalls like in Castlevania, the respawning enemies like in Ninja Gaiden, or the disappearing platforms like in Mega Man. But imagine playing any of those games without a fucking life bar. In Ghosts and Goblins, first time you get hit, you lose your armor. Second time, you lose your skin. And that's it.
It's as if they programmed the game and then said, you know what, it needs an expert setting. And then they programmed it, but forgot to add it in the menus. It's a theory, but it's the best guess I could come up with. Why else would they make the game so fucking hard? Well, one fair thing I can say is that there's no game over. Well, technically there is. It says game over when you die 3 times, but there's unlimited continues, and it always puts you back at the checkpoint where you left off. So the game's incredibly fair when it comes to that, but it's so relentlessly hard it almost doesn't matter anyway.
There's actually a glitch I found out where you hit the devil when he's just barely off screen, then run away. Wait like 5 seconds, come back, and he's gone. Yeah, how do you like that, you fucking game? It's cheating, but for a game like this, I don't feel bad about it. Now I actually have a chance against the dragon boss. After observing his pattern and getting some practice, he's not too hard to beat. Level 4 starts it off with a big jumping game on floating clouds. It's a mess. After the checkpoint, you're on a fiery bridge with flames rising below and projectiles at every step of the way. The level boss is another dragon. There's no tricks I know of. The only way to do it is to fucking do it. Level 5. Now you're in what seems like the final stretch of the game. I mean, you're in the final tower after all, but I guarantee These last 2 levels will take you the longest of all. But that goal is so tempting, just to be able to say you beat Ghosts and Goblins. Or you could just aim for the high score. Yeah, I didn't mention yet that you find money and treasures all around, which are only good for points. That's right, no power-ups, no life bar, but plenty of points if you just want to get that high score. The level 5 boss is Satan. He's just like the swooping red devils. It's worth mentioning that he's called Satan, but the last guy is the devil. I always thought Satan and the devil were, the same thing? Level 6, oh boy, this is the infernal hellhole of the 8-bit underworld. There's nothing more synonymous with hell, eternal damnation, fire and brimstone than level 6 Ghosts and Goblins. This will make you curse the day you ever picked up an NES controller.
Your body will shake, your hands will be sweating all over the controller, your heart will be racing out of control, you'll forget to breathe, and your eyes will be burning from not blinking. These are all common symptoms of NES fever. You get it from playing games like Ninja Turtles, Street Fighter 2010, the Famicom Transformers, and this one.
First, kill the unicorn. By now, you should be good at it. Then, kill the dragon. He's an asshole anyway. Then a shield drops down. No, it's not some power-up. It's a weapon. That's right, a shield is a fucking weapon. In other words, you don't want it. Right? Next is one of the most frustrating moments of the whole game. A big guy wanders back and forth. If you go up the ladder, he kills you. The only thing you can do is wait for him to go away from the ladder, I mean far away, and there's no pattern. You can lure him toward one side, but for the most part, he just wanders around as he feels like it. I've actually ran out the timer waiting for this guy. Yes, there's a time limit, as if the game isn't hard enough. Once you do make it to the top of the ladder, you're in a real bad spot. One step to the left triggers the skeleton, and one step to the right triggers the red devil. You do not want to wake that guy up. You can even wake him up by throwing a knife in his direction. That means if the big guy is to the right, you have to count off exactly 10 hits. If you throw one extra knife, you'll hit the devil, he'll wake up, and then it's game over. The next obstacle is the worst of all, a red devil that you can't avoid. Don't go up there and fight him, trigger him to come down, and then hope to God you can kill him. Oh no, no! Oh, thank God for post-hit invincibility.
Yeah!
After you beat him, you're free to go up. You're almost done level 6. But wait a minute, remember that shield? Supposedly, if you beat level 6 without the shield, it sends you back to level 5. This is one of those famous pranks in the history of gaming. Whether or not it's true, I'm not risking finding out. I'm getting the shield. Thankfully, enemies do not respawn, so my strategy is killing them with the knife, then going back for the shield. The only disadvantage is that you only get 3 minutes on the timer, so doing all this is barely possible. Then you go back up and watch that flame. It's there every time. Lose the shield now, and you lose the game.
Oh, here's the boss, here's the boss. It's a Satan. It's another Satan.
Well, the shield has a short range, but at least it can block his projectiles.
Yes! Oh my God, it's another one. There's 2 Satans? That doesn't make any sense. Come on, come on.
I'm running out of time. Fuck! And now you're stuck with that shitty shield. Don't even try. You can't kill the unicorn with the shield. It doesn't work. If someone else wants to try it, go ahead. You need the knife. So now you gotta go ghost busting. Kill those fucking ghosts until one of them drops a knife. Again, it's at pure random, so expect to run the timer out a few times. And by this point, those annoying squeals the ghosts make will nearly drive you to break the fucking TV screen.
Shut up!
Finally, when you get the knife back, you can try the level again.
Come on, I'm gonna do it. Ah, fuck! What are you laughing at?
You know that feeling you get when you almost beat the level and you want another shot right away? You have that adrenaline going and you want to start again immediately? Well, you can't. You gotta go wait for the fucking knife to come back. So you'll never get 2 tries in a row.
You know what? I'm sick of it. I've been playing this fucking game since the 80s. I gotta beat it. I need closure on this. I need to end this chapter on my life. This chapter of not beating ghosts and goblins. I did it! I beat 2 Satans in my underwear. Final boss, the devil. Notice how I'm walking backwards, so it's now in one-on-one fighting mode. Kind of like a certain other Capcom game. Ah! Come on! My mother throws bigger fireballs than that. You know what? I don't try to be cocky or anything, but who's the man? I just beat one of the hardest games of all time. I bet you didn't think I could really do it, but I got this, man. I got this by the ass! This room is an illusion and is a trap devised by Satan? Go ahead dauntlessly. Make rapid progress. You have to beat the game twice? You have to beat the game twice in a row. That's just great, because this time I'm twice as fucking pissed off! Beat the game twice. I'll show you twice. After all that hard work, who'd want to do that shit again? It's like building a house and right after you're finished, you tear it down just to build it one more time. Oh yeah, we could have made 12 stages, but instead, let's just make 6 and make people have to play the game twice. Alright, I'm gonna get the good ending this time. It better be good, whatever it is. It better be something awesome for going through the game twice. Alright. Yeah! I did it! Congratulations. This story is happy end. Thank you. Being the wise and courageous knight that you are, you feel strongeth welling in your body. Return to starting point, challenge again. Curse, goddammit! I used up all my fuck points during the last 107 episodes. Oh, I don't have anything new. I gotta rely on the old tricks. Alright, let's try the cluster F bombs. Fuck this fucking piece of shit fucker game. Gotta go for the precision F strike. Oh, how this game lures you in with its appealing gameplay and charming atmosphere and then bends you over and fucks you to hell. Alright, how about some wordplay? Alliteration. Feast on some fried fuck farts. Assonance. What's up, you dumb fuck-tuple mother-humping muppet fuckers, uncle? Rhymes. Suck on this muck, you run-amok fucked up, Mandarin duck. Alright, when all else fails, it's time for the atomic F-bomb. Most of the video games I talk about are action games, side-scrollers, games that are in the realms of fantasy. But there's a huge following for games based on sports, and I get a lot of requests for that. And I'm not really a big fan because, I don't know, I guess I like fantasy games more because it's something that you couldn't do in real life, whereas a sports game, you could go outside and play sports. It's possible. Not for me, because I don't know anything about sports. I'm a fucking nerd! Usually I stick to what I know best. But sports video games have been around since video games first existed. They're not going away. How do I ignore it for so long? I can't. There's boxing and racing games. I don't mind those too much, but the ones we're talking about are all the ball games, like baseball. Look how many baseball games there are. I don't even know where to begin. Major League All-Stars, whatever, always named after players' names, sequels to games. What the hell's different this time? It's baseball. Then there's basketball, NBA this and NBA that. One of the most popular games of all time is NBA Jam. Okay, it's basketball. Again, football. Don't even get me started. And I'm not talking about the kind of football where they actually use their foot. I mean the kind where they slam into each other like a bunch of barbarians. Ugh! What I don't understand is why everything is always bowl. What, like a toilet bowl? Okay, I know at least what the Super Bowl is. It's the most anticipated football game of the season. And with so much testosterone and high energy going around, why is the halftime show always some pussy pop group? Get Metallica in there or something. It doesn't make any sense. All right, back to football video games. Madden, Madden 91, Madden 92, Madden 93, Madden 94, Madden 95, Madden 96, Madden 97, Madden 98, Madden 99, Madden 2000, Madden 2001, Madden 2002, Madden 2003. Who the fuck is John Madden anyway? He doesn't even look like an athlete. What is it with football? Everywhere you go, football. Go there, football. Football. Like what the fuck? Sunday football. Monday night football, Thursday football, football on Thanksgiving, football on Christmas, and out of all sports, it's the one everybody goes the most fucking apeshit over. Makes them act like fucking maniacs. Man, I gotta calm down. All right, if I'm gonna play some sports games, I gotta start with the Atari 2600. Yeah, this is when sports games were fucking sports games. Look at these titles. Baseball, basketball, football, not this Madden shit. Just plain ass, normal, everyday, no question about it, no NFL, no year, not named after a player, not named after a coach, not named after the referee's pet goldfish, no quarterback, dime back, nickel back. Simple, ordinary, unembellished, unmistakable, crystal clear, as frank as Frankenstein, as blunt as an atom bomb. One compound word, it's motherfucking goddamn sons of bitchin' fucking football!
And it's one of the worst games I ever played in my life. Are these football players or are they stormtroopers? Are they wearing helmets or are these microwaves on their heads? Is it Team White versus Team Naked? Is that a crowd noise or is it the sounds of the ocean? Is that the entire field? Yeah, it is. And it's surrounded by water, it looks like. Yeah, it's like an island. It's Football Island. In other words, hell. I'm gonna make it. Yeah! Touchdown! To be fair, football games had to start somewhere. In real sports football and Super Challenge football, the players look more like people, and the screen scrolls. In Super Football, there's a 3D perspective. Pretty ambitious for the Atari 2600. I'd say play this one. Or the latest Madden. Basketball. Now this is some great stuff. What is this? Purple Man Can't Jump? I love that you're dribbling a square ball. That's right, this was before circles were invented. I like how the players are constantly stomping around like Les Claypool or Angus Young, or perhaps like a dog getting its belly scratched. Oh, look at this. Yeah, you can't do that in NBA Jam. You can actually keep playing after the timer runs out. This is a pretty fun game for what it is. But there's simple things they couldn't get right. If you select one player, you get the two-player mode. And if you select two players, you get the one-player mode. I'm not kidding. When it comes to baseball games, there's a handful of them, like home run. Even though I know nothing about sports, I can tell you one thing. There's only one pitcher in baseball! What the hell's going on here? They eat the other players. In the same way that Pac-Man eats the ghosts. Super Challenge Baseball is slightly advanced. By slightly, I mean it's like a bunch of restroom signs got loose and started playing a game of baseball. The batter's sort of like a letter G that's been stepped on or something. Nobody has a neck and they balance the balls on their heads. But hey, it looks better than the other game, and graphics don't matter much if the game plays well. And this one does not. It's shit. I can't figure out how to control the other players. And it's Atari. There's not too many buttons to try. Have you ever seen a game of baseball where the catcher runs out to get the ball? By the time he gets it, the batter has already run to first base, had a cup of coffee, and watched the whole Godfather trilogy. Then I try throwing the ball back to the pitcher, but it keeps going through him. What am I supposed to do to continue the game? I guess I gotta go downstairs to home plate. Real sports baseball is even more advanced, but the sound effects are awful. Listen. That is the sound of all-encompassing negativity. Really, what's it supposed to be? The sound of the bat cutting through space and time? Why is the batter naked? I'm not trying to be funny. He is naked. You can see all the other players wearing shirts and pants. The batter is naked, and they gave him a dick. Maybe it's the knee, but then where's the other knee? It's a dick. The batter is naked. Concluded. Ice hockey. It's somewhat playable. This is a little bit of an economic version of hockey. They can only get 2 sticks, so when the player passes the puck to his teammate, they have to pass the stick too. Real sports volleyball. Your teammate is your mirror double and can only copy your every move. When you bend over, you look like a harp. The sound of the ocean is like an atom bomb going off. The net is like nunchucks, and the sun is like Pac-Man with his mouth shut. In fact, it is. Fun game though, very intuitive and playable. Boxing. What is this? Geodude fighting Mr. Game & Watch in the middle of a baseball field? I gotta admit, I was pretty confused looking at this until I figured out that it's an overhead view. All along I thought they were crabs or something. This is hilarious. Too bad there's no fall down graphic because then we could have seen their whole bodies. Let's step it up with real sports boxing. As the title suggests, this is the real version. The graphics are way advanced, even though you can see through the outlines on their arms, and when they get knocked down, they look like they've been squashed by a steamroller. They punch each other so hard, the sounds of their impacts resonate like a cannon blast. And one more thing, you can select your character. For the 2600, that is pretty innovative. Tennis. Playable, yes. Graphically advanced, no. Is that a net or is it a wall? Could they not make a simple grid? Yes, they could. Real sports tennis actually has a net. And get this, you can enter a name. Not that I cared to, but it's another interesting thing to see in a 2600 game. Grand Prix. Yeah, it's pre, but it looks like pricks. It's a bunch of kazoos flying through a cabbage patch. Not too bad. But then try out Math Grand Prix. Your car can't move until you finish a math question. You wouldn't wish this game on your worst enemies. Karate. What's up with your legs? They're multi-jointed. It's like you're fighting on a giant combo. You know those little pretzel bites with cheese in the middle? Yeah, I'm stretching now. Before there were combos in Killer Instinct, you were mashing the button hoping you'll eventually hit your opponent. It's crap. Moving on. International soccer. Have 45 minutes to spare? Then I wouldn't recommend it. Let's see if Pele's soccer is any better. Oh my god! Oh man! Which one is Pele? Let me guess. The round one. This is the only sports game I think I've ever played where the controls are so broken it's impossible to score. Even if you purposely let your opponent come to your goal, you can't keep your goalie from automatically blocking the ball. And when you get to the opposite goal, you can't keep your players from automatically kicking the ball all over the place. I'm not even touching the button. Stop kicking the fucking ball. Golf. This sucks. You can whack the ball until the cows come home, but that ball is not going anywhere you want it to. Every time I try to hit it, it goes straight up or down. I've tried approaching it from every angle possible. The club is useless. It's like the staff in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, come on! Oh my god, get it over there! Fuck! And the par is 3? How could anyone do this in 3 strokes? I've actually reached 99 and rolled the counter over to 0. If I can get 3 now, would that count? And this person golfing looks like Mimmel the Elf. Now I have to explain. If you look on the United States map, MIML is an acronym for Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana. Spells MIML and looks like an elf, with Minnesota being the hat, Louisiana being the foot. And that's MIML playing golf. But am I talking about video games here, or U.S. geography? Let's move on. Let's try miniature golf. What the hell, man? It's like the characters from Pong went to play golf. Oh, good Lord. Oh, it's killing me. Oh, you're a square pushing a smaller square towards another square. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say about this game. Just look at it.
Well, that's Atari Sports for you. Some of these games were pretty innovative for their time, and others were a little crappy. I think it's obvious to say that in all the years since, sports games have gotten better. So if that's the type of game you enjoy, then game on. Maybe you're the kind of person who remembers which bush to burn in The Legend of Zelda to find the labyrinth, or maybe you're the kind of person who remembers the score to some sports game years ago. Maybe you like to go around in a Star Trek uniform, or you like to go around in a sports uniform. And I don't mean like a sports t-shirt, but the same jersey that the players in the game wear. Whatever the case, maybe, somehow, in our own ways, we're all nerds. Here's another game I've had a personal grudge with since I was a kid. Ikari Warriors on NES. Let's pop this fucker in, I'll show you how it goes. Two guys tugging at their crotches, march up to the title, fire their guns around at nothing, and then you pick one or two players. Well, I'm not getting anybody to play this shit with me, so I'm going solo like usual. Your plane crashes in the jungle and the game begins. First thing I have to get out of the way, is it Rambo? That's what everybody called this guy, from the time this game came out up until the present day. He's shirtless, running around the jungle with the headband shooting people, so naturally everyone assumed he's Rambo. The real names depend on where you're coming from. In most of the world they're Paul and Vince, but in Japan they're Ralph Jones and Clark Steele, later to be featured in King of Fighters. Anyway, Ikari Warriors doesn't seem so bad at first. It's a standard shoot-'em-up game. Unlike Ikari Warriors 2 when you're on the fucking moon. Did he just say bath time? Bath time? Yeah, bath time. There were many other versions of this game, like on Atari. That's right, Atari. I just wanted to be able to say that. Anyway, the frustration starts to set in real fast. You're surrounded by enemy soldiers. Missiles fly out of nowhere without any patterns. Landmines appear. Everything explodes. Even when destroying an enemy vehicle, you can't be near the blast radius. To put it simply, you die very easily. An average game of Ikari Warriors lasts maybe 5 minutes. But you're in luck. There's a code. ABBA. It brings you back to life. Oh, I'm dead again. ABBA. ABBA. Get used to that. You're going to be doing it a lot. ABBA. It's real fair when the enemy bullets travel all the way across the screen. But yours stop within throwing distance. Aiming your gun is a real bitch. Instead of firing in a straight line, it's slightly off center. So how am I supposed to shoot this guy without stepping into his line of fire? I know the reasoning for it being off center is that he's holding the gun in his right hand, but come on, it's a game. Even the grenades that look like salt shakers don't help much. Look at this. I can't shoot this guy. It's like you have to be some kind of geometry genius to figure out the right position to hit your target. Fuck! This is nothing like the smooth, fluent control in Super Contra, and that was NES just as well. Here, every time you want to face the opposite direction, you have to turn yourself around 180 degrees. By the time you turn around, you're dead. The arcade version used a special rotary joystick that made it more novel, but it didn't translate well to the NES. Even with the code, every time you respawn, you start at the bottom of the screen. So if you didn't make the screen move, you haven't made progress. Just want it to go up, make the screen move. Man, and the problem is you move so slow. That's my main gripe with this game. It's not horrible, it's just tedious as fuck. And with only one player, this is gonna take all night. I need a second player. ABBA.
Oh, I guess somebody needs a favor.
Yeah, I need your help to beat a game.
Let me guess, a shitty game.
Yeah, shitty game. Ikari Warriors.
Yeah, I know that game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I know what you could do with that game too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You take the game, and you take your ass cheeks as well, and you just open them up really wide, grease up the game, and just take and you shove it up your ass. I'm not helping you. Besides, you never play my theme song anymore.
Yeah, the theme song. I thought people were getting tired of that.
You thought wrong.
Yeah, I know. All right, so if we do the theme song, will you play the game with me?
Fine.
All right. Let's do this. Play the song.
Do, mi, so, mi, do.
Play the song. Play the fucking song!
It's gonna take you back to the past to play some shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. Rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
Okay, Ikari Warriors. You know what Ikari means?
What?
Anger. Yeah, in
Wow.
Japan, and it depends on
Do you know what warrior means?
warrior? No,
Brave soldier or fighter?
brave soldier fighter.
So who is this guy? Rambo?
Well, if he's Rambo, then who's the other guy?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Which movie?
Commando.
That would be a fucking awesome movie! John Matrix and John Rambo together at last. Of course, it would be Rambo and Commando. Say that 3 times fast.
Rambo Commando, Rambo Commando, Rambo Commando.
You died. Hit ABBA. That's how you come back. Oh, you died again. ABBA. ABBA.
That's all you fucking do in this game is hit ABBA.
Pretty much. Don't bother killing anybody. Just keep going up. You just want to get that screen to move. Just keep going.
Slow.
Yeah, we'll be old men by the time we make it there.
Go!
I know it's basic instincts, but pressing the D-pad really, really hard doesn't make you move any faster.
Why is everybody dancing like a ballerina when they die?
I don't know, they just, why do you spin around when you die?
Why is that guy spazzing out? It looks like he's having a seizure.
Yeah, it's a glitch. What's the point of the bridge when you move just as slow as in the water?
They're good swimmers.
But they're slow as ass on the bridge.
They're bad walkers.
Get in the tank, get in the tank! Oh, come on, why do I get the pink tank?
Why do I get the baby blue tank?
Those are great camouflage colors. Every time you think you're gonna get in the tank, it explodes. Boom, look, there goes the tank. Boom, there goes the tank. And when you do get in the tank, all it does is give you a false sense of invincibility. You have to keep collecting these fuel canisters or else the tank runs out of gas. And when it runs out of gas, it explodes. Why would it explode if it runs out of gas? Does that make any sense to you?
Not to me.
All right, you want to get some beer?
Not particularly.
Well, if you drive, I'll drink it.
I'm sure you will.
Oh shit. We forgot to get gas.
I mean, it's on empty. What should we do?
Get out of the car! Go, go, go!
Does this level ever end?
That's right, we're still playing the first level. You could beat Contra in the time it takes you to beat one fucking stage here.
I'm sick of staring at the same terrain.
Yeah, it looks like we're walking on a giant chocolate chip cookie. Growing mold.
Chocolate chip cookie that fell out of somebody's ass.
Why would it have been in someone's ass? Alright, well this has to be the end. Once we get to the other side of this bridge.
Nope.
Oh my god, it's still going on. Okay, well the boss. Once we defeat the boss, that's gotta be the end. It's still going. This is a fucking marathon. This is one level. This is the longest level in video game history. Is there like a checkpoint or something? It just goes on and on and on.
And that fucking music.
Yeah.
Please stop. Okay, I've had enough of this. I think I'm gonna blow my brains out.
Just hang in there, okay?
I don't think having 2 players is speeding this up at all.
Oh, finally, level 2. It's the same fucking thing. I mean, well, same terrain, the music is the same.
I think I'm stuck.
You're not stuck. Stop fooling around. Get out of there.
I'm trying.
You're really stuck.
Just kill me.
I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do.
No, kill me for real.
Wait. If we just wait for one of these missiles to come. There we go. All right. We're back in business now. Oh, shit. You respawned inside of another rock.
I've had it with this fucking game. I'm gonna blow my fucking brains out.
AVGN.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you're right. Having 2 players doesn't help much.
Get me out of this couch, you damn Nintendo dork.
Yeah, made it to level 3. And finally, it looks different. But the music's still the same. Anyway, it looks so different, it's like you stepped out of the jungle and into the Twilight Zone. Look at all the white chocolate bars and scrotum guns.
White chocolate bars and scrotum guns. Wait, I don't remember the episode with the scrotum guns, but the one with the gremlin on the wing was pretty good.
I'm stuck. What's holding me back? Oh, I get it. It's the green pipes. You can't walk through them. But you can walk over the yellow pipes, and the yellow pipes seem to be above the green pipes, so the layout just doesn't make any sense.
That's because Mario goes through the green pipes.
Oh, so Mario's going through there. Yeah? Well then, who goes through the yellow pipes? Luigi?
Don't be stupid. Shit goes through there.
Even the bad guys hover inside the walls. Anything goes with this game. And look at these guys, hiding inside barrels of flammable liquid. If you're in a gun war, would you hide inside a barrel of flammable liquid?
Better than hiding behind a fucking couch for all these goddamn years.
The layout of the stage is unsuitable for a tank. You can't even use the tank. Look, I'm stuck in the water.
Tank in the water, can't get out. Pink motherfucking tank.
And you can't shoot people who are up on a wall.
Really?
I guess I'm gonna have to go through the doorway.
Sounds pretty normal if you ask me.
Yeah, that's real fair.
It's not fair at all.
If you get the helicopter, you'll be lucky if you can keep it for 2 seconds.
That's a really bad rental.
The enemies explode now, by the way.
Spontaneous combustion.
A hidden bomb under the doorway. That's real fair.
That kind of sucks.
And is it just me or are my bullets going through people? I can't seem to hit anybody. No.
It's another
Fuck.
shitty game.
Look at this, my bullets are going right through them. My bullets are going right through them. Look at this. Yeah, finally.
It's a game of life. ABBA. It will bring you back today if you want it to.
AVGN. AVGN.
ABBA.
Fuck.
It will save you today.
It didn't save me now.
And bring you back to life.
Apparently, near the end of level 3,
ABBA.
AVGN stops working.
Didn't save him today.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. First, we're gonna use Game Genie to get infinite lives. Then we're gonna use a stage select code. That way, we can go back to level 3 and continue our fucking game. You can find the code in the classic book, How to Win at Nintendo. Now, check out this code. Right before the title screen, press up, down, A, B, left, right, A, B, up, A, down, right, right, left, B, up, left, A, right, B, left, right, A, left, up, A, down, A, right, left, B, select. What were they thinking? Why does the code have to be so fucking long? And according to the book, you have to punch it all in right before the title comes up. Up, down, A, B, left, right, B, up, A, down, right. Fuck.
Up, down, A, B, left, right, A, B, up, A, down, right, left, B, up, left, A, right, B, left, right, A, left, up.
So I'm faster than Grease Lightning now. I can pull off the whole code before the title screen comes up. But turns out the book was wrong. To really find out how to do the code, you check out the VHS tape, Secret Video Game Tricks, Codes, and Strategies. Yeah, I used to rent this fucker from the video store all the time. But anyway, the real way to do the code is during the title screen, not before it. Let's try again.
Up, down, A, B, left, right, A, B, up, A, down, right, right, left, B, up, left, A, right, B, left, right, A, left, up, A, down, A, right, left, B, and start.
So here we are, back in level 3.
We might be past the scrotum guns, but I haven't forgot them. Because they are so hairless. Where did their hair go? Ooh, where did their hair go? Where did their hair go? Where did their hair go?
Oh fuck, I'm stuck. I'm barricaded by all these green pipes. That means I have no choice but to reset the game and put the code in again.
Up, down, A, B, left, right, A, B, up, A, down.
Ooh, red carpet. I smell boss. Okay, I guess I'm at the final boss, and it's a dead guy sitting behind a desk.
Dead guy behind the desk looks so dead.
Okay, he's even deader now because I just blew him into oblivion. But now, what do? Where am I supposed to go?
According to this book, you have to bomb the floor and a staircase appears.
Bomb the floor and a staircase appears. Yeah, that's really great. How the fuck would anybody figure that out? All right, just bombing the floor here.
Bombing the floor, bombing the floor.
And all the missiles are coming down.
Bombing the floor, bombing the floor.
Let a guy look for a staircase in peace.
Bombing the floor, bombing the floor.
All right, there we go.
Floor is bombed.
And level 4, really? All right, is this the last stage?
This says it is.
All right, classic. Instead of many stages offering lots of variety, just have 4 really long, boring-ass stages.
Guys dancing around, guys stuck in the walls. Tanks getting blown up. Pink Fortress, fuck. Rambo Commando, where are you when I need you? You motherfucker, you're stuck in the wall again. Guys dancing around wearing pink suits and baby blue sky suits. I just want to ask you, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who picked out your outfit?
Anyway, the last stage is hard as fuck. I hate these guys who swim underwater. You can't shoot them when they're submerged, and they're too fast to outrun. What are these, human beings or fucking torpedoes?
Throw milk at them, just try it, might work.
Also, they run over the islands like it's nothing. But if I try to do that, look how slow I am. And if you go under a doorway, you can count on there being a bomb there. That's real fair. Look at this. I'm gonna go through the doorway. How much you wanna bet there's gonna be a bomb there?
Let's see.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Boom. See?
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. These pink motherfucking tanks, they're making love to all the scrotum guns. It's a different part in the game, you haven't noticed it yet, but it's a level that's hidden. Just trust me, you motherfucking Nintendo dork. Don't question me, I live behind the couch. I live behind the couch. And now I'm back in front of the couch, and I saw scrotum guns and the hairless. Where did the hair go? Sing it with me. Where did the hair go? I asked Rambo Commando, where did the hair go?
Now here's the real final boss. Just some weird robot face on a wall. Looks like Skeletor's cousin or something. You just throw a few grenades at it, and that's it. There you have Ikari Warriors.
Beat the game, congratulations, nerd.
Now let's see how bad this ending sucks.
You have accomplished the mission. You are the very purveyor that protect right and justice. I would express my sincere thanks to you. Take good rest, General Kawasaki.
Get back behind the couch.
He's the angry video game nerd. But I never forget them, they just look too hairless to me. Where did the hair go? I told you, that's the chorus.
Yeah.
Where did the hair go?
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
What happens when you take a movie, turn it into a show, and then turn it into a game? Well, let's take a look at the case of The Toxic Avenger. It was a movie by Troma Entertainment, full of violence and bloodshed, people's intestines being ripped out, a child's head being run over by a car, and tits. It was low class, it was foul, it was despicable, and it was fucking great. So what do you do with a movie like that? Well, turn it into a children's cartoon show, of course. The Toxic Crusaders. Then there were comic books, there were toys, and video games. And how do you think those games were, huh? You think they were good? Yeah. They sucked. These games were more vile than the toxic waste that spawned Toxie himself. And that's what happens when you go from hit to shit. What about Lloyd Kaufman, creator of The Toxic Avenger? What would he think? Well, guess what? He's sitting here right next to me. You!
Greetings from Tromaville.
Lloyd Kaufman from fucking Troma is here. This is the first time we've had a creator here in the room.
And Lloyd Kaufman is one of my favorite directors, nerd. How about you? How about you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh. We got some filth here that you gotta try out because you just need to feel the pain and suffering of every child in the early 90s inadvertently caused by your creation.
No!
You gotta do it.
Get me out of slow motion. I can't
Here,
get it.
regular speed. I do this all the time. You're gonna have to feel the torture.
All right, actually, I'm a sadomasochist, so no problem.
That works out. First up, the Toxic Crusaders Game Boy game.
Wow, this is so exciting. I love this.
It's just an average side-scrolling shooter. There's not much to say. You play as characters from the show, firing off sonic snots or throwing microscopes at people. Who the hell throws microscopes at people?
Nerd, that is not a microscope. That is actually a replica of Taylor Swift. And that's the thing with Tromer. We are movies of the future. We anticipate all the magic.
I see it.
See it now?
Actually, no, I don't see it. Oh, how do you like this part when you go down the hill? You get all jittery. Like there's a delay.
Look, the downhill thing is very symbolic. It's all downhill, just like my career.
How do you like the graphics? The backgrounds are full of trash cans and toilets. Sums up this game perfectly.
What you don't know, nerd, is they cut out the best part of these backgrounds. We had cum rags, we had used tampons, and those toilets themselves came directly from the set of Steven Spielberg's AI. We got a good deal.
I take it he doesn't like AI.
I love AI. Look at those toilets.
Okay, so maybe you can explain this. What is dripping out of the tree?
Nerd, that's called subtlety. In that tree is Tromy the nuclear rodent. He's got diarrhea. God, come on, man, get with it.
Now I know. Okay, so maybe you could tell me what's going on with the clouds here. And the other cloud that's pissing on you, what's going on there? That's a different cloud than the other ones?
Please leave my personal life out of this, if you don't mind. This is a historic, this is the first use in a video game of a golden shower until the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen twins video games.
I have not played those. Maybe I'll have to try them now. Now, what are you talking about? Why has it always got to be bats?
These aren't bats, nerd. These are cats with wings. When I was a teenager in Tijuana, I had some pussy with wings, and that's what this is all about, man.
Yeah, how do you like this? World 2-4, World 2-5, and we're still going. And it's a portable console. You could beat Super Mario Land in the time.
What are you talking about? You want something to take a long time to beat? It would take me a long time to beat off to Justin Bieber, man.
It takes a long time.
Long? My penis is pretty damn long right now, and I'm not even flaccid.
Look at all the Z's on the fence. That's exactly how I feel like when I play this game. Like going to sleep. Alright, okay.
Where am I?
Alright. Well, that was the Game Boy version. Just a warm-up. Now let's try the Sega Genesis version. The first stage really drops you off with a bang. A car continuously runs you over.
Cut me! Come on! Run me over! Head crushing! Just like Toxie the movie!
Alright, give me that.
Toxic Crusaders! Toxic Crusaders! Yeah!
Give me that! Here, I'll take over. Well, as you can tell, it's just another beat-em-up game. So what do you think of that chopper? Why does it have so many colors?
Well, a chopper is made out of a tie, man, and it's tie-dyed. That's why it is those many colors. Give me that quick! I want that!
What about the music? Couldn't they have something a little more upbeat and action-packed?
I love it. It makes me want to strip, nerd. I want to take my clothes off.
Okay.
Oh, I love this music. Come on.
I died when I touched water? Why would water kill Toxie? You gotta admit, that's pretty fucked up.
Toxie is the great-great-granddaughter of the Wicked Witch of the West from The Wizard of Oz, who, as you remember, dissolved when water touched her.
Interesting fun fact. Now, what I don't get... Yeah. Maybe he's so dirty that water kills him because it cleans him. But then again, he's got the mop and he's all about cleaning, and his catchphrase in the game is, "It's cleanup time." So really, he's just a big contradiction of himself.
You use the word dick, and I don't think that's very polite. Yin and yang, right? Dirt and clean, they are together in the yin-yang symbol. Very profound. See, that's the trouble. You need an old drunk. You need an older, mature man like me to explain this to you.
Yes, this game is very psychological.
Freud, you.
You know what? Freud, this game. You know what's really annoying is this yellow Pac-Man ball sack that's always bouncing around following Toxie. Why do you need that? You could whack it every now and then with the mop.
That's Blobby, man. That's Blobby, Toxie's pet. He's very important. And by the way, a little film fact behind the scenes. You know how we made Blobby for the movie? We took my ball sack, we made a cast of my ball sack, and we got Blobby. It did pull off my pubic hair, which was very painful. But you folks out there in Videoland can make your own damn Blobbies. And you can be just like George Lucas, sell them in Burger King.
Oh, I hate these parts where you keep falling off.
You better watch out, nerd. You're gonna have a second piss slit. That's no joke.
Fuck! There's no way to know what's ahead of you.
Sure there is. You jump and you die. I want to blow my fucking brains out, if you know what I mean.
So that's the gist. But now, on to our feature presentation. If you took all the things that were bad about the Game Boy version and the Genesis version, threw them together into one big vat of toxic waste, out would come the NES version. Oh yeah.
And it is toxerific.
Yeah. Oh man, it's glitching up. Gotta blow the dust out. Here, blow it. This game already blows.
You know, nerd, I've got some dust in my asshole. Could you blow it out just for about 30 seconds? It would really help the game.
What the fuck? Toxie looks just like Raphael with that headband.
Yeah, you know, you're right. He does. And in fact, Raphael did wear a headband when he and Tintoretto were going paint shopping. And in fact, Da Vinci sold him the headbands. All three of them wore them. It was really very nice in the Renaissance.
Your only weapon is the mop, and you'll lose it after getting hit once. Since this is a beat-em-up game, your average time before you get hit is about 1.2 seconds. First thing that happens, you start the game, whoosh, there goes the mop. Whoosh, there goes the mop.
Wait, Nike goes swoosh. You didn't complain about that, right? Whoosh. What's wrong with a little whoosh? Toxie loves whoosh.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Homer's whole history is whoosh.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Think of yourself as a bad guy. You get hit a couple of times and you are dead. D-E-D, dead. So think about that, huh?
Never thought of that. But fuck 'em. Why even give you the mop at all? It doesn't do anything special anyway. It's not like the sword in Zelda that shoots until you get hit the first time. No, the mop is just another basic short-range attack. You know, and for a guy whose motto is it's cleanup time, he sure doesn't clean up much. Look at all that waste he leaves lying around.
Well, what do you expect? He doesn't have his mop.
That's right. Wait. Toxic waste kills him now? First water, but now toxic waste too?
By the way, speaking of toxic waste, you want to have some irritable bowels, watch The View.
I like how the music on the NES version is better than the 16-bit Genesis version. It's much more lively.
Oh yeah, well it's the theme song from Toxic Avenger Part 2.
That's right. Why is the attack so weak? Is there anything else you can do? Is there any stronger attack? Like, just try mashing buttons.
The select button is working great. Look at this.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
What
look
do you
at
mean?
this.
Let me see that. Let me see that. The select button is the stronger attack.
You sound like you might have a selection.
So there's no reason to ever use the B button. Why would you do that?
Well, I would use it if I want to kill people slower.
Yeah, in other words, if you're an idiot.
Well, B is for bozo.
But no, with all seriousness, there's one time when you'll use the B button. That's before you find out about the select button. Who uses a select button? There is no other game that does that. The jump button and attack button should be right next to each other, but instead, you have to hop your thumb back and forth.
Well, you don't have a mutated hand.
Maybe that would help. Oh, see that? That's me accidentally hitting the fucking pause button because I have to reach all the way across the controller. Or you spread your fingers out like this. You gotta do this. But what game does that? When would you ever go like this?
Come on, it's the mark of the devil.
Yeah, this game is the devil.
Hey, come on. One in the pink and one in the stink. Here, you want to smell?
Ah! Whoever came up with the idea of hitting select for attack can suck the piss out of a platypus's penis.
Very good alliteration, boy, but I prefer sucking an elf's penis myself.
Did you say elf or elk?
Both.
Okay, never mind.
At the same time.
Whatever. It's only the 111th fucking episode. The big problem with this game is that it's just too hard. I beat Ghosts and Goblins. Why can't I do this shit? The bad guys. They just keep coming. And the thing I hate about beat-em-up games like this is that you have to kill everybody you see. The screen stops moving until you clear all the enemies. It's not like in Kung Fu, where you can just keep moving ahead and fight them at your own pace. It wouldn't be such a problem if the entire floor wasn't covered in toxic waste at these awkward diagonal slants, so your jumping has to be very precise. Fuck! Ass! Alright, here, you give it a try.
Let me try. Come on. Oh, fuck! Jumping Jesus on a fucking pogo stick. Fuck! Dick! Crap! Wee-wee! Duty! Fuck! 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 Fuck!
And that's what happens when you go from the movie to the show to the game. It's like putting a golden egg up on a mountain of shit, and then you roll it down and it gets shittier and shittier and shittier. By the time it gets to the bottom, it ain't the same. And look, that's your name on it. That's your name on this game.
I spit on my name. Pui! Pui! Pui!
What you created that's great got transformed into a mutated anomaly that would make the Pope weep. They made a mockery of your shit, man. What are you gonna do about it?
What am I gonna do about it? What am I gonna do about it? I'm gonna shit on this. I'm gonna take a huge dump. Here I go. And I had baked beans for dinner. You want shit, you shitty fucking game? Well, here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, you shitty shit game. How do you like that?
Oh, that's nasty. Oh, God.
That'll teach you, you fucking game.
What happens when you take an 80s comedy film like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and turn it into an NES game? Two guys are struggling to pass their history course, so they go back in time in a phone booth to get the aid of famous historical figures. It's dumb, but it's great entertainment, and a video game adaptation seemed like a good idea. It had fun characters, time travel, and adventure. So how could you fuck it up? You want to know? That's how. Yep, like almost every movie adaptation on the NES, it was made by LJN, the masters of shit, the unholy rainbow stamp of death. The plot of the game is that rebels have gone back in time, taken famous historical figures, and put them in different time periods. The goal is to find them all and put them back in their correct time periods. Who are these time rebels and why do they want to do this? Well, guess what? They're never referred to again. Yeah, they're just for your imagination. Man, wouldn't it be funny if we put Thomas Edison in ancient Egypt?
How about Galileo in the Jurassic period?
Oh,
We're assholes.
well, the reason you're trying to return these historical dudes to their proper times is to prevent history from being altered, specifically to keep their rock band together, the Wild Stallions. Really? That's the whole big deal? Not to prevent some major catastrophe, but instead a fucking concert? The first thing that happens when you start the game, you're given a phone book with numbers for the historical dudes. If you try calling any of these people, nothing happens. Not that any of these people would have phone numbers anyway. There's no in-game instructions. No, you're left on your own to figure this out. Like, good luck, asshole. Oh look, there's a blinking red number under the number. I guess I'm supposed to call that, huh? Thanks for making me flip through all those fucking pages. Next thing, you're in what they call a time circuit, where you have to shoot the phone booth across all the digits of the phone number you're trying to call. You think they overthought this a little? How about just a cutscene showing the phone booth spiraling into a time warp? Again, there's no instructions. I assume I'm supposed to go hit all the digits in order, and that pink ring is to help guide the phone booth? I'm just guessing here. What's the point of this? Why can't you just start the game? Couldn't you just dial the number and go straight to the stage? And speaking of that, what's the point of dialing the number? How about just select the page with the person you're trying to get to? But that doesn't matter either because Rembrandt's always the first one it lets you call. Why couldn't it be like the Mega Man games where you can play whatever stage you want? Here, everything has to be done in the order the game wants you to. So all this page turning, dialing, and time circuit bullshit has no purpose whatsoever. Wait, it's automatic? You just do nothing? Yeah, if you wait long enough, the phone booth will go through the circuits on its own. The drawback, if you let it do that, it costs coins. If you run out of coins, you're far past fucked. The game is over. So you obviously want to save as many as possible. That's the only advantage to blasting yourself outside the circuits. Free time travel. In the later stages, the time circuits get harder. You have to avoid the skulls because they take your coins. And where's the rest of the circuits, by the way? Isn't there supposed to be one more digit? Where is it? You gotta be kidding me! It's all the way out there? Who would know to do that? And if that's not cryptic enough, you have to hit one of the pink skulls. One of them takes your coins, the other one makes the last digit appear. So it's a 50% chance you'll get the right one. That is some supreme bullshit. Once you finally get to the real game, you'll notice how much grade A ass suckage you're in for. Get ready for this shit. But first, the basics. As you notice, they attempted a three-dimensional world. I have to give it to them, it was kind of ambitious to do on the NES, but you're still stuck to moving at 90-degree angles. You play as either Bill or Ted. They don't interact on screen together, which is pretty shitty for a game with such a recognizable duo. So we're looking for Rembrandt. And you know what? I dare to say they missed the opportunity to make this an educational game. It didn't have to go overboard. It could have still been an action-adventure game with some informative elements. It's all about finding the historical dude, but there's no aspect of the game where you return them to where they belong. Wouldn't it be nice if they at least had a little description in there to tell you who Rembrandt is, instead of just his fucking phone number? And all these time periods are so vague. They're mostly just graphical redesigns of the same stage over and over again. They don't tell us where or when any of this is supposed to be. There's games that are educational, but suck as a game. But this game just sucks both ways. Where'd the music go? I shit you not. Every time you start the game, the music lasts for 30 seconds, then stops. I'm not complaining too much because the music is ass, but why? They didn't know how to program it to loop? The rest of the sound effects are no more advanced than what you'd hear on the Atari 2600. There's mainly two sounds, jumping and falling on your ass. Get used to those two sound effects, that's most of what you'll ever hear. Back to the controls, check out this crap. You can never see where you're going because you're always waiting for the screen to catch up. Classic two-gear diarrhea. Instead of giving you freedom to walk around, you have to follow the path. Apparently, Ted can't walk on grass. You can't even get near the side of the path. If you cut the corner too sharp, you get stuck. And it takes you on the most indirect route possible. Oh, fuck. If you jump into the green, you're as stuck as a dog turd on a hot summer sidewalk. You have to keep hopping until you get out. It's like trying to get out of a sand trap on a golf course. And with those jump sound effects, it really reminds me of NES Golf. Come on! Come on! Oh! Fuck! This is among the most annoying things in video gaming history. This is like the fucking bombs in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the narrow jumps in Ninja Turtles, the snipers in Dick Tracy, the stairs in Ghostbusters, the pits in Ugh. Oh, but sometimes it lets you walk on the green. Yeah, sometimes. It's one of those games that keeps changing the fucking rules. And what happened here? Where'd I go? Found some kind of glitch. The enemies are just random guys. Some of them take your coins and some of them take you to the dungeon. Fuck, no! The people who stand still help you out. They give you coins, or better yet, weapons. That really helped. All the weapons have the same range. They just fly about 10 miles away. There's no straight attack. How about give me a crossbow or something? No, you know what you're using? You know what this weapon is? It's a textbook. A fucking textbook that explodes! By the way, this won't change history at all. Let's go around blowing people up. Let's kill some ancestors. That's real great. As long as it doesn't affect the Wild Stallions concert. When they come back to the present, it's gonna be some kind of Planet of the Apes shit. They're gonna be playing to an audience full of intelligent sloths. Another item you can get is an audio cassette. I love how the knight casually says, "Bill asked me to give you this audio cassette," as if the knight would have any idea what that is. What does it do? It plays music and makes everybody dance. It's real helpful, especially since you don't even need a cassette player. Just throw the cassette on the ground. Hey, want to listen to some tunes? So where is Rembrandt? You can explore this whole land, but you won't find him anywhere. That's because you need to lure him out with bait. What is he, a fucking fish? The bait can be any random object. There's 4 of them hidden on each stage. One of them will make Rembrandt appear in one of the random houses. How do you find this bait? You want to know? Guess what? By jumping into things! This game treats you like an idiot. Like, hey kids, you want to play in Bill and Ted game? Well, here you go. Go jumping around in the fucking bushes and fences. That'll keep you busy. Have fun. There's no shortcut around it. You have to roam the entire stage, jumping into everything. And I mean everything. There's people who give you clues. Sometimes it's as simple as going up and talking to them. Other times, you have to select your own responses. The right answer will lead to another thing you have to respond to, and then another thing, and you just get stuck in this whole dialogue tree. I hate this shit. All the answers are the same surfer lingo bullshit. How are you supposed to know which is the right answer? Also, you have to use A to switch through responses and B to select the response you want. How about just left or right? And then the button to select, because the first time playing you'll never know if it's A or B, so you always end up selecting something that you don't want. It's trial and error, and it's not intuitive at all. When you do get a clue, it's always something vague, like look for something strange in a tree, or look near the crossroads. That really helps. Near the crossroads? Which fucking crossroads? This is Castlevania 2, Zelda 2 bullshit. And I love it when they use directions like north and south. The game is slanted at a 45-degree angle. Which way is south? How about a compass? How about a map? How about anything? Oh, that's nice. I'm stuck. Is this where the scenery runs out? Then there's all these open doors that you can't go in. That's another peeve of mine. If you can't go in the door, don't have a door there. At least make the door closed. It's a psychological tease. I hate games that do that. Fuck the townspeople. Fuck not knowing where to go. I'm gonna get the power. Nintendo power.
Wasn't there.
Well, it helps to visualize the layout of the stage, but where's the starting point? I'd like to know where I am. You know what? That's because the game always starts you somewhere different. You can control where it starts you. When the time circuit finishes, you're supposed to hold up or down or some shit. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Then there's certain doors that act as warp zones and transport you somewhere else. The magazine doesn't tell me that either. Nor does it tell me where the historical dudes are. I know they appear in random houses, but there's probably a few different designated spots. For the bait, it just gives you a circle showing the vague area where they are, not the exact bush or fence. This is one instance when Nintendo Power just didn't bother because the game was too shitty. At least I have an idea where to look now. Nice, I found something. By looking at the magazine, you may call that cheating, but the game doesn't even play by its own rules. Bill and Ted were the ultimate cheaters. What have we learned from the movie? If you're failing your history course but happen to have access to a time machine, bring the history to the classroom. If that happened in real life, would the teacher give them an automatic A? Or say, yeah, that's pretty amazing you brought Abe Lincoln here, but you still gotta pass the test. I finally found Rembrandt, and for one dialogue box you have to hit B instead of A, again changing the rules around. You have to choose which item to give him. There's only one correct choice. Let's say I give him the skull. That's the wrong one, so I have to start over. The correct item is supposed to be something that would belong to this historical figure, and here's where the game could have been somewhat educational. But instead, it's a joke. For example, for Julius Caesar, you're supposed to give him salad dressing. For Thomas Edison, you're supposed to give him a compact disc. Yeah, let's not change history, by the way. For Cleopatra, a credit card. For Elvis, a gravestone. Here you go, Elvis. Here's your fucking gravestone. You're gonna die. For King Arthur, the Holy Grail. Yeah, entire stories have been written about finding the Holy Grail. You're gonna find it by casually slamming into a bush or a fence. Just a little side quest. For Jesse James, an Uzi. You're gonna give Jesse James a fucking Uzi? You're gonna give a notorious outlaw a more contemporary weapon. Yeah, just help him out. Might as well give, I don't know, Vlad Tepes an atom bomb? Anyway, I give Rembrandt the paint roller and he says, let's party. That's exactly what he'd say. He also mentions that he'll pay for the call. Of course, here's some coins for your phone booth time machine from the future. And now we have to go through the damn time circuits again. My coins ran out. Didn't that motherfucker say he was gonna pay? Oh great, I have to roam around this fucking stage again looking for coins? I've had enough. I'm losing my faith in the NES library. Was there any quality control here? You know, that seal of quality, did that mean anything? Did anyone look at these games before they dumped them in the back of every KB's and Toys R Us? How many of these games are worthless? All the LJN ones, I can tell you that. But there are good games here. There are. Zelda, Mario, Metroid, Contra, Castlevania, Mega Man. But then a big fucking shitstorm hit it. A shitstorm of horrible games. And at the middle of it all, a rainbow. A rainbow of shit. LJN. And Bill and Ted might even be the worst LJN game on the NES. It doesn't just have some flaws. There's no good and bad. This game is all bad. Like, I'm impressed. How did they do it? How did they make it so bad? Bad doesn't even describe it. It's disgraceful. It's putrid. In fact, I looked up the word putrid in the dictionary. There's no definition. It's just a picture of Bill and Ted on NES. Curse this fucking game. Curse the plastic that encases this dung heap. Literally, it's a plastic shell filled with shit. It's fucking shit. It's ass. It's garbage. And that's it. Good night. Oh wait, I forgot to mention, as a matter of fact, it also sucks monkey fuck, and it's a worthless, pitiful pile of snot-dripping, pus-bubbling, wet, steaming mountain of buffalo butt dump. Mere descriptions can't even describe the inane lack of common sense that even a child would possess when making a game with chalk on the sidewalk. I can't even come up with a description that's foul and disgusting enough to even come close to this rancid abomination. Can't describe it. I'm done. For real this time. This game is diarrhea coming out of an old woman's bleeding vagina! It's fucking terrible! What were they thinking? I know. They weren't thinking. Remember back when I first warned you about the horrors of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on NES? Well, there were a few other games I mentioned there. They're just, rare, obscure games, like, McKids or Taxman or whatever. What the hell is Taxman? I didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. I had too much to drink. What I meant to say was Wall Street Kid, a game about the stock market. Who would ever want to play a game like that? But it just so happens, by some fucking coincidence, there actually is a game called Taxman for the Apple II computer. I've heard that there's nothing much to this game, it's just a Pac-Man clone. I figured that probably means that it's a game that's very similar to Pac-Man. I was wrong. By clone, they meant an exact copy. It's Pac-Man. Have you played Pac-Man? Then you play Taxman without even knowing it. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about something that I've feared since the beginning.
Those little tiger, like, electronic wrist games, those are better than Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Have we gotten to that point now? Is it time to scrape the bottom of the toilet bowl of the whole video game industry? Yeah, it's time to talk about tiger games. Since the advent of video games, the idea of portable games was a novel concept, like the Nintendo Game & Watch series. Everybody liked the idea of being able to bring a game with you wherever you go. There were many examples, but none so common as the Tiger handheld games. They used the most primitive technology possible. The graphics, if you could even call them graphics, work like this. The background is a fixed image that's printed onto the console. In front of that is a clear screen, kind of like an animation cell, with a bunch of static images that represent all the characters and objects. When the game plays, these images light up individually to simulate the illusion of movement. It's sort of like a calculator or a digital watch. I can't think of a more crude way to make a video game. Of course, you don't need technology to make a good game, but these were all ungodly. But that didn't stop these games from flooding the market. They were everywhere, and everybody bought them. Everybody I knew had at least one of these things. On the school bus, people were playing them. At lunchtime, everybody was swapping them around and playing each other's games. It was like chicken pox. We all got it. It was the cheapest option for a handheld game. You could find them at any store, they were convenient for birthday presents, and each one was its own individual game. You didn't need to get any other game cartridges to play on them. And all you needed was 2 AA batteries. The Game Boy, on the other hand, was more expensive, needed 4 AA batteries, and you'd still need to buy games for it. Tiger was like the poverty version. For a lot of us, it was either this or nothing. And nobody minded. These things brainwashed us. They had colorful artwork that looked way better than the shit that came on inside the screen. It somehow gave you the impression that you were holding an arcade machine in your hands. The commercials made them look awesome, but really, they were garbage. These games were so mass-produced, it was like a swarm of mosquitoes sucking our blood, and we all got bit. The most shameless part of it is that these games tried to be more than what they were. With this kind of technology, they could have stuck to solitaire or video poker, but no, they took it all the way and adapted action-adventure games. They took Konami games, Capcom games, Sega games like Altered Beast, Shinobi, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Any video game franchise ended up butchered on one of these things. Any licensed product, movies, TV shows, this Tiger got its claws on everything. When you adapt a well-known game, everybody knows what the real game is supposed to be like. You have something to compare it to. The difference is night and day. But hey, the idea of playing Mega Man 2 on the go? Why not? Mega Man using a gun instead of his arm cannon? Sure, I guess somebody just looked at the atrocious cover to the original Mega Man and thought, okay, he's got a gun, put it in the game. And how about running out of ammo? Have you ever wanted to play a Mega Man game where you can run out of ammo? Well, this is it. Street Fighter 2. Really? First you have the arcade, then you have the home console versions, then you have the Game Boy version, and then at the very bottom you have the Tiger version. The only thing less than that will be using your imagination, or playing the board game. But even that was better. How about the TV shows like Dinosaurs? Listen to that awful music. You'd rather listen to I'm the baby, gotta love me. Remember that shit? How about Full House? That's right, Full House, the Tiger game. You play as Michelle, I think, going around slapping high fives while fighting against inanimate objects. Apparently everything in the Tanner household came alive and is trying to kill you. Personally, I prefer the Super Nintendo version of Full House Tournament Fighter.
Well, bogey down.
For games that are so basic, you'd think they'd be easy to pick up and play, but many of them, I can't even figure out what you're supposed to do. I just mash buttons and wait for something to happen. A game this simple should not need an instruction manual. Some of them, I wonder if they're defective. In the bowling game, I haven't even been able to hit one pin. The ball goes straight for the pins, then it disappears. What is happening? The controls, a lot of times, are counterintuitive. Anybody who's played a video game knows that the D-pad controls your movement and the buttons perform actions. With Tiger games, anything goes. In Castlevania 2, the whip is up or down on the D-pad, while the buttons on the right are jump up, jump right, and the sword, which is actually a throwing dagger, by the way. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers had jump and pick on the left, and on the right, to move, it's just one big button that says forward. Every one of these games had some kind of quirky control when they should have just emulated what's on an NES controller. Half of these games, the controls barely work at all because they're so fragile and don't age well. Another thing I hate about them is that they're hard to record. It's almost impossible to see the objects on the screen without careful lighting, and the glare makes it even worse. So there's nothing good about these games. In 1989, the Nintendo Game Boy hit the scene. It revolutionized portable gaming. Yeah, the games were black and white, there was no backlight, and the screen was still hard to see, but the games were like real games. It was closer to having a mobile NES. You'd think this would be the Tiger Killer, but no. Other game companies like Konami released a lot of their own games on handheld devices like this, but most of them died out when Game Boy became popular. Tiger, on the other hand, continued well into the 90s. In fact, I remember these things being more common in the 90s than ever. They were pouring obsolete games into stores and we were still buying them. They wouldn't die off. They were like cockroaches. By giving people a cheap alternative, they managed to coexist with the Game Boy. Yeah, this Tiger sure rose up to the challenge of its rivals. Had the guts, got the glory, went the distance, now it's not gonna stop. It's literally a survivor. There's a difference between something that's old school and something that's outdated. Old school is like Atari 2600. The games are primitive, but they're still fun to play. You can always go back to them. Outdated is something you never want to go back to. Tiger games are so outdated, they were never indated. They were a fad, like Pogs. If they were an experiment in the 70s and they only made a few of them, then I could accept that. But no, they milked these things for all that they're worth. You thought LJN was the grand champion, the almighty shitty game factory? Tiger put LJN to shame. Yeah, LJN laid down turd after turd after turd, but Tiger was like a machine gun ass, shitting out turd. These are the worst games I ever had the honor of playing, if you even count them as video games. People have discussions like, are video games art? Or something like that. Well, I have a better one. Are Tiger games video games? These are a caveman's version of video games. These were a step back in human evolution. These are the most desperate attempt at entertainment. You could save up for a Game Boy, or just go, Yeah, well, just what the hell? These things, how did they waste so much plastic to make these things? It brought the game industry down as low as it could go. It's proof that Jesus died in vain and legally changed his middle name to fucking. The only thing I can think of to use these things for is to wipe your ass with it. You might as well save that toilet paper. It's worth a whole lot more. But I'm not done, am I? Oh no. I've actually gotten to this point. It's time to talk about the wrist games. Ugh. What the ass? Talk about desperate. I'd have more fun setting the time on a digital watch. This is shits for the birds. Now check this out. Batman Returns, the wrist game. Oh boy. Wait, I can't get it open. Good. God, I hate this shit. You know what's bullshit? You know what's bullshit? Packaging that you need scissors to open. Even with the scissors, it's still a pain in the ass. Why is this plastic so fucking strong? This stuff is bulletproof. Nobody wants this shit, so why do they do it? They use it on everything. This kind of packaging should be outlawed. Why does it still exist? I especially love when you buy scissors and you need scissors to open the scissors. What fucking idiots think this is a good idea? They don't care. By the time you're having this problem, you already bought it. Packaging like this is bullshit. Thanks, bullshit man. Wow, look at how badass this game is. Yeah, this is the hot shit right here. You'd be so cool going around wearing this thing. Yeah, you'd be walking around school and you got this on and everybody else is talking about what the new hot game system is gonna be. Nintendo 64, the Bit Wars. 64 bits, 32 bits, 16 bits, 8 bits, 4 bits, 2 bits, 1 bit, half bit, quarter bit, the wrist game! And you thought that was it for Tiger, huh? Handheld games, wrist games, Tiger, Pokemon, walkie-talkies? Yeah! That's not enough? Well, how about a whole fucking Tiger game console? In 1997, this was Tiger's belated answer to the Game Boy. You'd think it was called the Game.com, but it's actually the Gamecom.
Gamecom active.
This thing tried to be hip and cutting edge. It had a stylus pen, making it the first touchscreen game console, and PDA features like a phone book, a calendar, a calculator, and a built-in solitaire game. You could even connect a dial-up modem to it to access the internet, text only. I don't believe it myself. Imagine reading your email on this thing, and you'd have to hook it up to a modem so you couldn't leave your house anyway. Why not just use a computer? It was supported by cartridge games. The game included with the system was a mediocre puzzle game called Lights Out, where the object's to turn out all the lights. Beyond that, it was a bunch of shitty ports like Mortal Kombat Trilogy. I don't see Scorpion or Sub-Zero. Trust me, they're not there. There's Rain and Reptile. How could you have a Mortal Kombat game without Scorpion or Sub-Zero? And who would want to play this on a crappy black and white portable console anyway? Then there's Duke Nukem. At least the voice sounds pretty good.
Damn, that the second time those alien bastards shut up my ride.
Then there's a Batman and Robin game. Every time Batman gets hit, sounds like he just got done taking a big dump. Then there's the Lost World Jurassic Park. Isn't it always fun to dodge things that come from behind? Then there's Resident Evil 2. The same thing happens to me when I tried to play the real Resident Evil 2. You get about 3 seconds to figure out the control and a zombie latches itself onto you and kills you. Great! Why do they have to start you right next to the zombie? Can't I get a chance? Turning yourself around is like waiting for a minute hand on a clock. Ah! Finally, I got him. So, that's the Gamecom. Needless to say, it flopped, especially with Nintendo dominating the portable gaming market. So hey, why not just follow whatever Nintendo's doing? That mentality is what brought us what I think so far is the worst video game console I have ever played. The R-Zone. This is basically a shitty version of the Virtual Boy. Yes, I said that. As if the Virtual Boy isn't already shitty enough. Just look at it. What planet did this thing come from? Here's how it works. You take the game cartridge, you slide it into the system, then the screen lights up. Then you strap the thing on your head. And that's one thing I have to give it credit for, is that they actually thought to have a head strap. Anyway, the image gets projected right here. There's supposed to be a piece of reflective plastic. It's missing, but you could use almost anything. So you put it there, and then it projects the game right there. And keep in mind, this is portable, so you'd be going around public like, hey guys, how you doing? I'm just playing a game here. Just when you thought the most sorry, pathetic excuse for a video game was the Tiger wrist games, oh no, imagine playing one of these up close to your eye in red and black. Good Lord, you thought I was kidding, but it's true. This actually happened. Unlike the Virtual Boy, which causes eye strain and headaches within minutes, this thing does it immediately. Having it over one eye meant you had to go cross-eyed to look at it, or cover the other eye. By the way, the game itself sucks just as much as the other Tiger games. Thought you could turn around? Yeah, right. I love how the advertisements always show a kid playing it. Look at his expression. He's horrified. And in the commercial, the kid's screaming in agony.
You better not blink. Indy 500 roars into the R zone.
Was this thing intended as a torture device? What made them think this was a good idea? They did it because Nintendo did it. It couldn't have been a coincidence. Both systems came out in '95. Tiger saw what Nintendo was doing and thought, that's the new hot ticket, see? Red and black video games that you play close to your eye. If it was blue and black, I'm sure it would have been the same thing. The original idea of the Virtual Boy, so I thought, was to emulate virtual reality to make you feel like you're really there. Well, the R-Zone got as far away from that idea as possible. It's so far removed from common sense that it's baffling. What were they thinking with this shitload of fuck? I know what I'm thinking. I might carve a giraffe out of wood and decorate it with Christmas lights so I can put it up in an albatross nest. Did you expect me to say that? Probably not. Neither would you expect this crazy idea of a video game. Case closed. It sucks. It's the Halloween season again, and I can't miss the occasion to celebrate by torturing myself with another asinine game, Alien 3 on NES, based on the movie. The first movie, Alien, was like a slasher film set in outer space. The second movie, Aliens, brought the action genre into the mix and gave it a wider mass appeal. It made a huge impact on not only film, but video games. The concept of shooting down hostile aliens and fighting for survival was perfect for video game adaptations. It's no wonder why so many games like Contra and Metroid were influenced by the Alien movie's art style and their feelings of solitude, confinement, and claustrophobia. Can you even count how many games blatantly ripped these movies off? The first two Alien movies were masterpieces, but the one we got on NES was the bastard sequel, the Unholy 3, that had mixed reactions. Some people like it, some people don't. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not great either. But, you know, I'm not going to get all into it right now, Monster Madness. So let's take a look at the game. Is this good enough for Halloween? I mean, Alien 3 is a horror movie. Is this scary enough? Okay, now it just got fucking scary. If you play this, the first problem you'll notice is that the buttons are switched around. B makes Ripley jump, and A makes her fire the gun. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Ever play Mario, Mega Man, any real game? This is shoot, this is jump. Everybody knows that, just like Nintendo taught us the letter B comes before A. We all know B is before A, except when they mess with their minds, make A before B. Who would put A before B? You can never predict when the aliens are going to pop out. It requires split-second reaction time. It's one of those games where you have only two speeds, stand still and fast as ass. Classic two-gear diarrhea where the screen is always trying to catch up. You have all this room over here. Why couldn't they keep Ripley in the center? So the whole game you're running headlong into that unforeseeable void on the edge of your TV screen. It's like sticking your dick in a glory hole without knowing what's on the other side. Did that analogy make any sense? Whatever, I just compared a glory hole to an NES game. And you can't shoot the aliens until they're on the screen. Yep, if it's out of sight, it doesn't exist. You could just keep firing your gun non-stop. That'll solve the problem, temporarily, but as soon as you run out of ammo, you're far past fucked. Yeah, you can run out of ammo. That sure sucks, but hey, you know how much ammo was in the movie? None! Wow, they followed the movie pretty well. Remember? Ripley was on a prison planet where there were no guns to fight the alien. And that's right, I said alien. There's only one. This game has as much to do with the movie as the Space Hunter Nebula M has to do with Lake Titicaca. If they wanted to make an alien game, why couldn't they take as much influence from the movie as all the non-alien NES games did? Now look, I know that if the game had only one alien and no weapons, you'd be bored pretty quickly and begging for a deck of cards. Might I say that maybe this was perhaps not the best alien movie to make a video game out of? The first two movies never had an NES game. Why didn't they make those? Well, I don't know why they didn't make Alien or Aliens, but I do know why they made Alien 3. And that was because it was new. The game was nothing more than an advertisement for the movie. And how shameless is that? To do something, to promote something else? Monster Madness. It served its purpose back then, but has no significance today. It's like a time capsule of 1992, one that should have been left floating out in the void of 8-bit space where it hopefully land on a prison planet of other bad games. But no, I had to find the capsule and open it up, like thawing a frozen dog turd. Want to play a better Alien game that still holds up? Alien Trilogy on PlayStation. Are these facehuggers? They look so funky. The facehuggers in Super Contra looked more like the ones from the movie. And that wasn't even an Alien game. Here, they look like, I don't know, Thing from Addams Family dragging a dildo? Just another addition in this game's museum of anomalies. Ripley's Believe It or Go Fuck Yourself. The goal is to rescue all the prisoners and then head to the end of the stage. Okay, I think I got everybody. I'm going to the end. Almost there. Here we go. Oh, fuck. That's the barricade, meaning I didn't get all the prisoners. Gotta go back. What? A time limit? Yeah, there's a time limit, and it's just barely enough, so you have to be very familiar with the layout of the stage. There's dead ends everywhere, just to waste your time. Wouldn't it be nice if there were some arrows showing you the way, or just a simple map screen? This game does not hold your hand. Instead, it reaches down, grabs your dick, and jerks you around. I promise, that's my last dick joke. When you pause the game, the music doesn't stop. That really ties my dick in a knot. Okay, now I promise. No more dicking around. One thing I have to admit, the music is pretty good. But it doesn't make up for all the shitty rules. Why can't you jump off a ladder? Ah, what happened? I thought these were stairs. No, they're just blue balls. Huh, what was I thinking? Stairs. They'll beat you around like pinball flippers. I thought I was playing Alien, not Ripley Pinball. Then there's all the items you can't get. What's the deal? It's too high to jump and there's nothing above it you can descend from. The game put that there as a tease. Yeah, you want that? Yeah, you want that? You want that? Yeah, fuck you, you're not getting it. You can't go in the doors either. It's just part of the graphics. There's no reason to have a door there if you can't go in. The background did not need a door. If that door wasn't there, would you be confused? Would you be wondering, oh gee, where am I? Is this supposed to be a jungle or something? No, this couldn't have been an artistic decision. They put it there to piss you off. Doesn't it bother you not knowing what's on the other side of that door? I know what. It's this game's mom, bent over getting fucked. Alright, I got all the prisoners. Oh wait, did I get the guy over by the third ladder between the blue platforms? I don't know. This game's like a memory test. You need a notepad handy. Oh shit, there goes the time limit again. Game over? 3 lives, no continues? If you make it to the second stage, it looks just like the first. Don't expect much variety. If you make it all the way to the end of the game, this is what you get. As Ripley leaves Fury 161, she turns back one last time. Did they see the movie? She never leaves the planet. She drops herself into the fire and dies as the last alien hatches out of her chest. It's the thing anybody would remember best from the movie. Then the credits start. Quality ass? Quality ass! That sums up the whole thing. There is no quality assurance with this shitload of fuck. This game is as much fun as a witch's cunt! It's a shame that there was never a good Alien game on NES. Oh wait, actually I take it back. There were some good Alien games on NES. They're called Contra and Metroid. Yeah. You know, it's not the worst LJN game, I have to say, nor is it even that bad of an NES game. It's playable as much as the movie is watchable. Huh. Maybe that's what they were going for. In that sense, they got it right. It may not be a pile of goat puke smothered in buffalo diarrhea, it's just a pile of goat puke. Hold the buffalo diarrhea. I don't even know if buffaloes get diarrhea. But it pains me to know that there's still more LJN games out there. And I just can't take it. I can't fucking take it anymore! See all the Alien movie reviews on Cinemassacre.com, part of Monster Madness Halloween Marathon. 31 horror movie reviews all month long.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
You know, there's been many games based on the angry video game nerd, which is me. Yeah, all these years while I've been busy playing shitty games, people have been making games about myself. There's been so many games about me, I can't even keep up. Unlike the majority of games I ripped apart, these ones were made by independent game developers, usually single-handedly, all by themselves, and hopefully they will have growing careers and aspire to make better games than a whole company of laughing, joking numbnuts ever could. Another thing that makes these games different from the games I usually play is that I have to play them on a computer. Well, anyway, the first AVGN game we're going to look at is The Angry Video Game by Eric Ruth. This was the first AVGN game that ever came to my attention back in 2008. You might be wondering what took me so long to get around to it. Well, the answer is simple. That's how long it took to load it on my Commodore 64.
Who the hell thought to make a game of me? What were they thinking?
That wasn't me talking. That was the game. My voice is in this game.
Stage 1, Rock and Roll City. Ready? I sure am. Here we go.
That's me, throwing beer bottles. I have to admit, I've done that before, but if I had that many beers, I wouldn't throw them, I'd drink them. Then again, I've never been on a rooftop getting attacked by scrotum cannons, blimps dropping bombs, and what the fuck is that? When would you ever see me jumping across a rooftop? Who do I think I am, Jackie Chan?
Oh my god, there's fucking missiles falling down. Man, when the hell does this ever happen in my life? This never happened.
Exactly, just like I said in the game. I don't even need to talk, just listen.
Cannons and zeppelins and fish. What was that? What was that? I'm dead. What the hell was that?
My sentiments, exactly.
Fuck, I'm dead as shit.
The stage boss is a helicopter guitar. And I wish I didn't already call the cannons scrotum cannons, because now the game is just mocking me. Have you ever seen the AVGN episode where a giant helicopter guitar comes flying in and pisses all over me?
I'm dead. Fuck.
Is that going to be my epitaph? Fuck? The second stage, I'm in the water where every random thing is trying to kill me, like a submarine shark. And I can't beat the shark. I just can't. It may look like I'm sucking ass at it, but what do you expect? I'm playing on a keyboard. And the controls are the complete opposite of what's on a regular controller. Jump attack is on the left, and moving is on the right. So I have to switch my hands around and get carpal tunnel. The weapon is the worst thing of all. The beers fly in an arc, so you have to get in the right spot to calculate the trajectory. And everything blocks your aim. Fuck, I can't hit this fucking fish! Fuck! Ah! These beers are like The Rock in Friday the 13th, and I already told you how bad that is. Oh no. Is that why the game was designed this way? All the random enemies and all those things? It's because those are the kind of things I complained about. This game is all my fault. Ugh. Time for another AVGN game. Let's try Pixel Land Blast by Kevin Berryman. This one came out the same year, back in 2008. Well, it looks like a bunch of shitty NES games have invaded the fantasy world of a familiar good game that we all know. So I'm flying around like Superman, blasting every copy of these games in existence. This game is my ultimate fantasy. Fucking games, blast you all to hell! Die! Yeah! Needless to say, it's a 2D shooter. All you do is shoot the games, and shoot the games. There's not much else to say. You even get to take down the Power Glove, or Power Gauntlet, and the Virtual Boy. Even Shit Pickle makes an appearance. The first game was designed to make me angry, but this one is a lot easier, so maybe it's more like therapy. Maybe now I'm calmed down enough to play another AVGN game. Oh shit. This is AVGN KO Boxing by Devin Cook. It's made in the style of an Atari 2600 game, very faithfully. It's as if you took Punch-Out and put it into an Atari game. You control this anonymous invisible guy, not the nerd. So, if you ever wanted to punch me in the face, there you go. Take that, nerd! Me. Next opponent is Shit Pickle. How does Shit Pickle keep coming into my life? Next up is Jason Voorhees. Man, is he hard. Oh, fuck! I can't beat him. Quite honestly, it's a fun game. It's definitely better than any of the boxing games on Atari. Next up is AVGN Planet by David E. The plot of the game is that all of my enemies, such as Bugs Bunny, Freddy, and Jason, have been sent to a planet, and now I'm going there to fight them once again. Is it just me, or does that not make sense? It doesn't. The game is in the style of Metroid, with me running around through caverns and collecting power-ups. It also uses the same kind of puzzle solving where you have to find out how to open a door, and it's a good effort. The controls use the keyboard to move and the mouse to aim, so I guess you could say it's very PC. Here's that bunny bastard. Come on, die already. Die already! Oh my god! Die! Just fucking die! Who would have thought he'd be the strongest boss in video game history? Yeah! Finally! And I'm rewarded with beer. The second boss, I think, is Jason Voorhees. And if you thought Bugs Bunny was tough, look at this. Just look at this! I'll try the missiles. There goes my missiles. I can't kill this guy. After all, he is Jason Voorhees. Come on, Jason. He won't even kill me. He's taunting me. He wants me to die slow. Well, fuck him. If you can get past this force field, you can transport to the next stage. Again, good effort, but one thing, I couldn't figure out how to quit the game, and killing yourself takes a long time.
Next is AVGN Game Over by Lord Gavin Games. The intro is really cool. It shows me beating up characters from the games I've talked about, set to that awesome theme song cover. So I get sucked into a video game world, and the first stage is based on Super Mario Brothers. Rather than jumping on Goombas, I fight them like a man. Punch them! Yeah, tell them. Honestly, this is pretty fun, but unfortunately I'm having technical problems. The game crashed, and to be serious for one moment, I'm not playing on a Commodore, it's a brand new PC. The game crashed again and again within only the first 30 seconds of the game. And every time it crashed, I had to wait through the entire intro. I can't find a way to skip it. So, unfortunately, I can't play this one for some reason, whether it be a problem with my computer or whatever. And it's a shame, just when things were starting to blow up. Well, anyway, Lord Gavin strikes again with AVGN Game Over 2. This sequel is done in more of a 16-bit style. Feels a lot more like Super Mario World. What's really awesome about this one is that you can use an Xbox controller with it. That's right, a real controller. Don't try to play it with the keyboard or else you won't be able to jump correctly. I found that out the hard way. I think this game is really well done, even though it may not be AVGN themed that much. Now let's move on to consoles, which is more like my familiar territory. This game I got on an actual Atari 2600 cartridge, simply titled The Angry Video Game Nerd. It was sent by Lodmot. Well, it definitely looks and plays just like an Atari game. That's me, by the way. Damn, I'm looking good. The things on the bottom are Sega, Atari, and Nintendo consoles. If you can wrap your head around a Sega or Nintendo console being in a game that's being played on an Atari console. The things flying in from the top are shitty games. The object is to shoot the shitty games before they get to your consoles. In true Atari fashion, it takes a lot of imagination and has lots of flashing effects. Is that the music from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? All we need is some boom. Give me some boom! Give me some boom! Boom! Yeah! It takes a lot of extra effort to put a game on a real cartridge, so how could you resist AVGN vs. Dr. Wily by ABO Hiccups? It's gonna be me, isn't it? It's gonna be me. Yeah, that's me. So basically, it's Mega Man 2, but instead of Mega Man, it's me. I'm in Mega Man 2, one of the best games ever made, and I'm in it! If I could have foreseen that as a kid, I would have shit my pants. The other difference is that the levels are redesigned to be way harder than the original game. So, if you thought the game wasn't hard enough, and it needed the fucking nerd in it, then this is for you. Anyway, let's play some more AVGN games. Hey nerd, since you've been doing AVGN games, how about an AVGN board game? Board James? What is this? Why does everyone always drop in uninvited? Oh, come on, this is a great game. Check it out. Angry Video Game Nerd Monopoly by Matthew Nielsen. Everybody knows how to play Monopoly. It's the same thing, but all the properties are games that you've reviewed, nerd, like Superman 64, Deadly Towers, and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Ooh, instead of trains for the transit system, how about traveling around in the tornado from Simon's Quest? There's glitch cards and used game shop cards. Some of my favorites are you break your TV out of rage from playing Wayne's World and have to pay $150 for a new one. And how about you achieve the highest score in the Terminator and get paid $150? Cheating fine for using Game Genie. Or check out this one. You revisit Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. You're revisiting it, so that means you're going backwards and not past the press start panel. Very elaborate way to say go back. Or you accidentally use an Atari Jaguar console as the toilet and the shopkeeper charges you $50 for damages. Where does he get his prices from? Yeah, Jaguar CDs are way more expensive than that. But isn't that awesome? Somebody made a Monopoly game about you. Everybody's gotta have a Monopoly game. Even AC/DC has a Monopoly game. Yeah, that's cool, but how'd you get here? Aren't you supposed to be in jail? Oh, well,
I used a get-out-of-jail-free card. Yeah, but didn't you kill your friends or something? That wasn't me. That wasn't me. That was the fucking phone! God, fuck you and everybody! Okay. You know, that guy looks familiar. Anyway, speaking of phones, next we have a game that you play on your phone. Well, okay. This is Texting of the Bread, produced by Screw Attack. I believe it's a spoof of Typing of the Dead, which is a spoof of Night of the Living Dead. Wow, a spoof of a spoof. I just happen to be a playable character in it. I'm just sitting around, minding my own business, when a zombie gingerbread man bursts in. I hate it when that happens. The idea is to type, or should I say text, as fast as you can to shoot all the gingerbread men. Oh! This is the weirdest game I've ever been in. And at last, we have the recent Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, also produced by Screw Attack, developed by Freak Zone Games, and officially endorsed by me, which means I better check it out and make sure they didn't fuck it up. In the intro, I get pulled into the TV by my balls. Story of my life. Next thing, I'm inside an 8-bit platformer, getting nagged by Naggy, the patronizing Firefly. Press A to jump? Yeah, thanks. You're a fucking genius. Now leave me alone. My 8-bit self says it all. After the tutorial, you get a selection of stages. Clearly, it's the largest AVGN game yet. I'm using an Xbox controller, and the controls feel 100% fluent. There is no doubt about it, this is a legitimate side-scroller, proving that the genre is still alive and strong. We don't even need to go back to the past. We're still in the past. And why is the music so fucking awesome? You can play as hidden characters like the Bullshit Man, Is That Guy Dead Again? And Mike. Who the fuck is Mike? I don't know anyone like that. Not to mention, there's lots of hidden cameos. See if you can find them. There's also power-ups like Super Mecha Death Christ, which obliterates everything, and the Glitch Gremlin, who makes everything go berserk. You know, I've heard a lot of people say this game is very difficult, but I'm not having any trouble with it. I mean, come on, it's my game! I'm the fucking nerd! Okay, whoever came up with this is... Exactly. They read my mind. They're an asshole, which means the asshole who made this game acknowledged that they're an asshole and that I call them an asshole. You asshole. Great. Do I really need to be reminded of Silver Surfer again? Why does everything look like a dick? Oh no, not the Where Did You Learn to Fly, bitch. Then there's the Happy Land where everything is smiling. No matter where I die or how I die, there's always one of these things making fun of me. The death screen always generates a random quote. Saves me the work of trying to come up with something. Let's try Dungeons and Dickholes. Now this is going too far. When I came up with this idea during my Super Pitfall episode, I didn't know somebody would actually create this exaggerated death trap. I can't even blame anyone but myself. I came up with this. What was I thinking? What the fuck? No way. They didn't. It's the Giant Claw. It's as big as a battleship. How did it get in this game? It just barged right in, like a battleship crashing into a harbor. It's taken so many hits, like bullets on a battleship. It's a flying battleship! This isn't the first time the Giant Claw appeared in a video game. It was also in another Freak Zone game, based on another terrible movie, Manos: The Hands of Fate. So it begs the question, when will the Giant Claw strike again? The movie was filmed in Hollywood. Manos was filmed in El Paso. I originally broadcast out of New Jersey. I don't see any pattern. Oh, of course. A perfect pattern. Next is a level based entirely on the Atari porn games. Who would do that? Don't look, kids. Then there's Assholevania. It's as if you took all the things that were frustrating about the Castlevania games and the Mega Man games and put them all together. The biggest obstacle are these death blocks. You touch them, you die. It's all about getting these patterns down, and there's hardly any room to fuck up. Undershot it. Overshot it. You think there's enough death blocks? Then there's Blizzard of Balls, a Christmas snow level. Nothing says Christmas like shitting chickens. The best part is killing Santa and using his body as a sled. On the polar opposite, we have the Hell level, Thy Farts Consumed, where you fight caca demons. And ride on a shark shooting lasers. This is ridiculous. Then, of course, you fight the devil himself. And don't you love the intentional typos? Conglaturation, is that the new hip way to spell it? Is that what the kids are doing now? The remaining level is Boo, Haunted House. You have to play the whole stage in tunnel vision, and this is where they really get carried away with the death blocks. Even when you know it's there, it's still hard not to touch it. Oh, what? Oh no, oh jeez. Oh no. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, fuck! After you've conquered all the stages, one last final stage appears. Laughin', Jokin' Numbnuts, the bane of my existence. This is deliberately designed to be one of the most unfair stages in video game history. For example, you have to shoot this gear to make the platform move, but then you're killed by the death block, so you have to jump faster than your own bullet. And after that, more death blocks appear out of nowhere. Meanwhile, there's all kinds of shit flying everywhere. There's not one stable spot to stand to catch your breath. You gotta keep moving. You don't even have time to think. Look at this. Look at all these death blocks. I hate them. I hate them as much as the fucking Medusa heads in Castlevania or the grass in Bill and Ted. Every game has its thing, and this one's thing is to piss me off. It was made to piss me off. And at the heart of it all, the final boss, my arch nemesis. It's Fred Fucks. It's the programmer, motherfucking Fred Fucks. Finally, I get to kick his ass. Yeah! Fuck you, Fred Fucks! Fuck you, Fred Fuck! Ah! Got him! I feel like I played every bad game I ever played all at once. And now others are playing it. Because of me. It's like I shared all my horrible experiences. It's all my fault. Fuck this game! Take that, game.
He's playing some games, the worst he recalls. He's gonna find out which one sucked the most balls. The angry video game nerd is here. Oh, he's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna go home and eat chicken and rice. The angry video game nerd is here. He hates the games that stink. He knows which games to break. He just might even hate them all, 'cause he's mad for fucking sake. You better watch out, don't give these games a try. You better not play them, he's telling you why. The angry video game nerd is here.
Back in the 80s, our parents didn't order our Christmas presents online because the internet didn't exist yet. Back then, it was all about catalogs. Every major department store like Sears and JCPenney will put out these holiday wish books. So every year, it was a tradition to browse through these books and circle all the things that you wanted Santa to bring you. Everything you could possibly imagine was in these books. There were video games, of course. You'd see all kinds of crap like the Rollin' Rocker and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. For $39.87? That's criminal. Speaking of prices, it's funny that at some point, the NES and the Atari 7800 were both the same price. For the 7800, it says it has super responsive joysticks because they knew the Atari 5200 controllers were pieces of shit. Yeah, having a responsive controller is kind of a necessity, wouldn't you say? Also, Super 8 cameras and VHS cameras coexisted. A new VHS camera could cost $1,000. Yeah, being able to record yourself with actual footage was a luxury. My family always had to rent one. There were action figures, you had Ninja Turtles, Inhumanoids, the real Ghostbusters, as well as the other Ghostbusters that nobody gave a shit about. There was the giant G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, all kinds of toys, everything. You can tell that the people who photographed these action figures didn't know anything about them. Like, why is Lion-O and Mumra riding together in the Thunder Tank? And why is laser spelled with quotes? Did Dr. Evil write this? I can't do these books justice. I highly recommend that if you can find one of them, take a look through. It's really a trip. When I say everything was in these books, I mean literally everything. Science stuff, horses, jewelry, lingerie. You turn from a page with kitty stuff to see tobacco. These books were mostly for kids to tell their parents what they want, and there were even coloring pages in there. But then there were things like knives and guns. That's terrible that a kid would be flipping through and see that. You'd go from a page that has all kinds of kitty sleeping bags, and right on the other side of the page is a gun cabinet. Right underneath the Mario sleeping bag is an assortment of guns, and there were lots of them. Back to the video games. A lot of times the descriptions were questionable. For Zelda, it said, "Gather crystals to stop warlords." That's the worst description to Zelda I've ever heard. Karate Kid on the NES had the wrong screenshot. Where'd they get that from? That's not the Karate Kid. For Ghostbusters on Sega Master System, it says "scare up some fun." Oh, you bet, and it retains the typo Gorza instead of Gozer. Then we get to the Tiger games. Oh my. You're at the wheel for all the high-speed thrills of real racing, full of exciting action, true-to-life graphics and sound effects. Are you fucking kidding me? There was no telling if the games were good or not. If it made it into the same catalog as Zelda, you assumed it would be awesome. Like I mentioned, this was the BI era before internet. There were no online game reviews to tell you when a game sucked the big one. It was all a crapshoot. All you had was a screenshot, a weak description, and sometimes word of mouth. We would usually gravitate towards games that had some kind of reputation. Skate or Die was one of those, a game dedicated to skateboarding and hosted by Rodney Dangerfield with a mohawk. Even if you didn't know anything about skateboarding, you wanted to be part of the culture. You wanted to be hip. Just as essential as it was to wear bright neon colors and listen to glam rock, you had to at least try to skateboard. If you weren't good at it, you'd fall on your face and hurt yourself. Then you'd go play this game and punish yourself even more. All you do is fall, fall, and fall. The only way to play decent at it is to master its awkward controls. It's like teaching yourself to walk backwards on a tightrope, and once you do get good at the 5 mini games, you realize that's all it is. 2 different half-pipe competitions, jousting, and a time trial and a race, which are so short you can finish them in less than a minute. Almost every kid had this game in their collection at some point. It had cool music, a catchy slogan, and signified everything that was rad about the 80s. But the game was fucking shit. Shit that we held with passion. Skate or Die? Looking back, I wish I chose the latter.
Then there was Bad Dudes, or Bad Dude as this wishbook called it. Just the name bad meant that it had to be good. More proof that we had everything screwed up. It's a monotonous button masher with choppy movement, lousy hit detection, and back-ass controls. It's another one of those games where B and A are switched, meaning B is jump and A is attack, and you know how it should normally be. Sure, it was early in the age of beat-em-up games, so at the time it was awesome and macho. Playing this game was a symbol that you were a real man, but it hasn't aged well. It just makes you want to play Final Fight 3 instead. Still, it has a legacy and has one of the most famous opening screens of all time. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Bad. Like, what was it with that? Maybe we could blame Michael Jackson for making the word bad so awesome, but we should have never listened to Lucas about the Power Glove. In some cases, bad really meant it. I'm bad. One that's always been on my personal hate list is Karate Champ. This is one that was just as horrible back then as it is now. It's an early example of a one-on-one fighting game, but good lord did they fuck it up. In all the years I've revisited this game, I have never figured out how to consciously do any of the moves. I just mash buttons and see what happens. The instruction manual tries to make sense of it all, but it's way too complicated and there's nothing intuitive about it. Hitting your opponent happens at pure random. Most of the time you miss. It's not like he's blocking. Your fists and feet are going right through him, as if you're fighting a ghost. It's hard enough to hit your opponent, but it's even more difficult to keep yourself facing him. It seems like there's certain moves that turn yourself around. Why would the game allow you to face the other direction? Rarely have I ever been able to do the same move again to reorient myself, so I usually end up jumping all over the place just to get myself back in the proper direction. Turn around! Ah! These controls are on the same level as Conan, Winter Games, and Dark Castle, but on closer evaluation, I think it beats them all. The worst fucking controls in existence. And there's no variety, except for a bonus stage where all kinds of shit flies at you. It's a hopeless situation. Other than that, you fight the same opponent the whole game. In fact, there's no difference between the two characters. It's the same guy fighting the same guy for all eternity. Sure, the backgrounds change, but it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. Even the characters don't seem to exist in the same dimension as these backgrounds. No matter the perspective or the lighting condition, they remain unchanged. How a piece of junk like this got released will always be a mystery. Even as a rental, it was a waste of time. Well, in the tradition of wish lists, my fans have had a wish list of their own, of games they've been wanting me to cover. So, it's time to answer some of those requests. Let's reach into the stocking, dig underneath the lumps of coal, and go straight for the shit nuggets. The request I hear all the time is the bad Sonic the Hedgehog games. What bad Sonic games? The Sonic the Hedgehog games were awesome! It was Sega's flagship franchise. Even though it didn't have as much variety as the Mario games, it made Nintendo fans turn their heads. Sonic 2 was the game that made me buy a Sega Genesis. These games boasted fast-scrolling action, colorful graphics, and delightful music. The character was hip and cocky, and it was so much fun to make him run and bounce all over the place. So what are all these bad Sonic games that everyone's talking about? Well, I took a deeper look. Here's Sonic Blast on Game Gear. There's no blast processing with this one. Come on! Sonic Blast? Should have been called Sonic Slow Ass. Not much else to say, just a poor man's version of Sonic. Then there's Sonic Labyrinth. This one experiments with a 3D perspective, but fails. The controls are messy, Sonic's walk is tedious, and doing the spin move only sends him ramming into a wall, unless you get it down just right. Anyway, these are portable games. What do you expect? This is back when the convenience of taking a game with you on a trip often meant compromising its playability. Then there's Sonic R on the Sega Saturn, which I've also been told is terrible. Oh man, they're right. It's basically a racing game, sort of a shitty version of Mario Kart. The steering is so unresponsive that I can barely stay on the track. Oh, come on! And I'm always afraid that it's going to glitch out, that I'm going to fall through the boundaries and into the unprogrammed area of limbo. Another one I've been told about is Sonic Shuffle on Dreamcast. That's right, the last of the Sega consoles, and a good console to go out with. But the same can't be said for this game. After you get through about 10 minutes of story footage and tiresome load screens, the game finally begins, only to bombard you with more text. Just as I thought, it's a board game video game, with some mediocre mini-games in between players' turns. Basically, this is Sega's take on Mario Party, but unfortunately didn't turn out as well. Another big request is Shadow the Hedgehog on the Nintendo GameCube. A Sega game on a Nintendo console? Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria! Sega and Nintendo were the biggest competitors of my generation, but times have changed. I don't even know who Shadow is, and when did characters in Sonic games start carrying guns? Once again, you have to sit through a movie before the game starts. It's pretty spectacular, but why is it always like this now? Is that what kids do nowadays? Sit around and watch video games? You take control of Shadow, with Sonic following behind. You run, you jump, you shoot. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's much more fun than the other games, but I find it a little tough to avoid losing my rings all the time. This homing attack tends to get me killed, and I keep falling down pits. Other than that, I don't have much to say about it. I feel like I just awoke from a frozen sleep. Last I knew, Sonic games were in 2D, Nintendo and Sega were rivals, guns were for Contra, Sonic's nemesis was called Dr. Robotnik, now he's going by Dr. Eggman Diddy Daddy, villain formerly known as whatever. What the hell happened here? This is about as new as I'll go. Sorry, I'm going back to NES. That's what I know best. One of my biggest NES requests since day one is Where's Waldo? First, you have to be familiar with the books. They were incredible. As a kid, I stared at these pages for hours. The illustrations were amazing, and there was so much going on it could keep your eyes busy exploring for a long time. Of course, the objective was to find Waldo amongst other hidden things. Well, how do you take this and turn it into an NES game? This is what happens. It's as if the pages of the book have been chewed up, digested, and shat out an 8-bit ass. How can you find Waldo in this? Where the fuck is Waldo? He doesn't even know where he is. And that's all you do. You just move the square around the screen and hit the button if you think Waldo is in that area. Even when I do find him, I still don't know which one he's supposed to be. It's really not hard anyway. You can just keep trying every space on the screen until you win. The only thing that happens if you pick the wrong area, you lose time on the timer, but it still seems like a better option to guess your way through the game rather than actually trying to find Waldo with your own eyes. In between the stages, you're forced into watching Waldo walk from one place to the next. And he never walks in a straight line, he just wanders all over the place, like he doesn't have a clue where he's going. Why do we need this cutscene anyway? Couldn't we just go straight to the next stage? There's a few stages that are different, like finding Waldo in the dark, a crappy slot machine, and one of those indescribable shit shows that reminds me of that part in Terminator 2 on Game Boy where you have to connect the wires, or that fucking nightmare in Bill and Ted. And once you've completed all the stages, Waldo goes to the moon and the game's over. I finished the whole game in 6 minutes.
Imagine buying this piece of shit for $50. Nowadays, releasing a game this short would never be excusable. Well, anyway, we have a lot more games to get through, so stay tuned for part 2. I'm gonna go get the games.
He's playing some games, the worst he recalls. He's gonna find out which one sucked the most balls. The angry video game nerd is here.
Another game that I've gotten requests up the ass for over the years is A Boy and His Blob. Here's the thing about it, I don't consider it a bad game, but I can understand why many would find it frustrating and boring. You control a boy and the blob character follows you around. You have a supply of jelly beans that if you feed to the blob, they all turn them into different kinds of tools. The whole fun of the game is figuring out what tool works best in the situation. I know it's annoying that the jelly beans don't even tell you what they do, but soon you catch on to the game's humor. For example, an apple jelly bean turns the blob into a jack. Get it? Applejack? It's a big guessing game and there's lots of trials and errors. Like if you need to go down, you never know where exactly to stand until after you've fallen to your doom a few times. The music is monotonous, there's not many enemies, there's lots of tedious running around, but it has a unique charm. I like the puzzle solving and that blob is a cool little guy, obedient like a dog. The game may be flawed, but the creativity and originality shines through. The Three Stooges. This has always been a huge request. I've dreaded this moment for a long time.
What? Ghostbusters 2?
Hey fellas, we're in the wrong game. Hey, this looks like a kid's game.
Now that's funny.
You imbeciles.
I've always been a big fan of the Three Stooges, but the game's charm ends right after the title screen. The plot involves an orphanage that's unable to pay its mortgage, so you're trying to raise money so that the kids have a place to live. That's sad. That's not a fun video game concept. It takes the idea of something that's too real. The game itself is nothing more than a bunch of mini games. You have no control over which one you play. You can't cancel them. Whatever you land on, you're forced to play it, and you can get the same one over and over again. It always seems like I end up getting the one where you eat the live oysters. All you do is move the spoon and scoop up the oysters. The spoon moves way too slow. It doesn't give you enough time before the oysters disappear and Curly makes an obnoxious sound. I can't even describe how much this all irritates me. I'm sick of playing it. I'm sick of looking at it. I hate staring at those oysters. They don't even look like oysters. They look like assholes. I'm not even trying to be funny. They really look like dogs' hairy assholes rising in the stew. What else could it look like? Then there's the part where you're in the hospital collecting red crosses. Mindless, but playable. There's the classic pie fight and the slapping thing. Self-explanatory enough. I don't know what all that shit is at the top. If it wasn't there, I assure you I wouldn't be confused. This is what you'd expect to see from the Three Stooges, but obviously the whole game couldn't just be the Three Stooges slapping each other in the alley the whole time. So they tried to give it some variety. The best part is the trivia. But what happened with the controls? You have multiple choice answers. To choose A, you hold left on the D-pad while pressing either the A or B button at the same time. To choose B, you hold up or down and hit the button. To choose C, you hold right and hit the button. Why couldn't it just be a simple selection screen? What kind of knuckleheads programmed it like this? Was this game actually made by the Three Stooges? The most annoying game of all is the one based on a specific Three Stooges short called Punch Drunks. In the short, Moe is a boxing manager who puts Curly in the ring to take advantage of his psychological complex that causes him to knock people out whenever he hears the song Pop Goes the Weasel. Larry is hired by Moe to sit ringside with a violin and play the song so that Curly can win the fight, but the violin breaks and now Curly has to go running to find an alternative. It's a great short, but with all that explanation, how much does the game tell you? Nothing. All you get is a shot of Larry holding the broken violin, and then the game starts and Larry's running around trying to find a radio. It's no wonder why nobody knew what the fuck to make of this. Even if kids in the 80s were familiar at all with the Three Stooges, what was the chance of them knowing a specific short from 1934? You control Larry on the bottom. There's no telling why Curly is at the top. The only reason any of this is up there is to show the time limit. But it's too elaborate and distracting. It only makes you wish you were playing the boxing part, instead of Larry running through an alley slamming into everything. That's all you do. You hit everything in sight. It's the equivalent of the first stage of Back to the Future 3 on Sega Genesis. By the way, who's the naked guy lying on the sidewalk? No matter what I do, I always hit the pole or the boxes in the background. And you can't run, or else you'll never see what's coming. Fuck this game. Moving into Super NES territory, let's take a look at Home Improvement. Yeah, that's right, based on the TV show. How do you take a family sitcom and turn it into a video game? Well, the plot starts out with Tim the Toolman Taylor on the set of his show Tool Time. Remember the show within the show? So his tools go missing and he has to go onto the sets of other shows to find them. Apparently, in the soundstage right next to Tool Time, they're filming some kind of dinosaur show. So the first stage is just a generic dinosaur platformer. If it's a show and the dinosaurs aren't real, then how are they attacking? I guess they're supposed to be animatronic or something? So, okay, it's a pretty ridiculous concept. We got that out of the way. At least we can hope the gameplay is decent, right? Yeah, it isn't. The weapons all suck, and breaking through these boulders is always a chore. It's relentlessly difficult. Not many people have seen past this first stage, but it's said that they're all generic TV sets. You know, wouldn't it be cool if they were sets to real shows like Family Matters, Full House, or Dinosaurs? No more dinosaurs. You know what would be awesome? If you went on to the set of Home Improvement. Whoa! Wonder if Tim Allen ever played this game. Do you think he could beat the stage? How far could Tim Allen get in the Home Improvement video game? That's a question that needs answering. I'd give this game a better chance if I could read the instructions. The instructions might help, right? Yeah, guess what? There is none. Technically not. The manual opens up to a fake sticker printed over the pages that says real men don't need instructions. Very funny. Next up, Pit Fighter, commonly known as Shit Fighter because it's the shittiest fighting game next to Karate Champ. When this game came out in the arcades, it looked awesome. It was one of the first games where the playable characters were real-life actors who have been digitized. I mean, really, this was a big deal at the time. Like, wow, they look like real people. Well, when the arcade version was eaten up and shat out onto the home consoles, it ended up looking like this. It's like cutout photographs fighting each other. And why they turn black and white when they lose? I guess color is life and black and white is death. As soon as Mortal Kombat came out, it made this game obsolete instantly. The big problem with it, the Super NES port at least, is that it's way too difficult. After each match, it doesn't replenish your health, nor do you get any continues. Nothing. One chance, one life meter, that's it. So you have to fight everybody in one long lucky streak of button mashing madness. As a kid, I never made it past the second guy. Even as a rental, it only made for about 15 minutes of playability, if that, before you turn it off and take it back to the video store. And I know it has to give you your health back at some point, but I've just made it to the fourth opponent, and still, they don't give you any health back. This is the worst Super NES game I've ever played. Worse than Super Noah's Ark 3D, worse than Shaq Fu, worse than Wizard of Oz, worse than Lester the Unlikely. I'm dead fucking serious. Even B-Mode Double Dragon was better than this, and that was on NES. Sure, it gets monotonous and awkward at times, and you can only play as the same characters fighting themselves, but it has much more fluent control and is way more fun than Pit Fighter.
And next up, a game that is probably my biggest request, aside from that other one about the fucking alien that falls in the pits. No. I'm talking about motherfucking Bubsy 3D.
I don't even know who the hell Bubsy is. It's just some generic cat that doesn't wear pants. Not that cats wear pants anyway, but he's got a shirt, so where's his pants? Bubsy was clearly intended as a mascot character like Sonic or Mario, but failed miserably. Nevertheless, a whole series of games was made and he crossed over to multiple consoles, Sega Genesis, Atari Jaguar, and Super NES, which even got a sequel. But the biggest cat turd in the litter pan was the PlayStation version, the character's first venture into 3D, because everybody else was doing it.
So, you wanna be a video game star?
As the game begins, you're walking around collecting atoms. That's it. There's some enemies to kill, but not many, and they don't move. Basically, all you're doing is getting the atoms, much like flying through the rings in Superman 64. The first thing you'll notice is how boring the graphics look. There's no style, no taste, no creative design whatsoever. Just flat colors and bland scenery. If you stare at it for more than 2 minutes, you get immediate sensory deprivation. You'd rather stare at a blank wall. About these atoms, you'd think it would be easy. Couldn't you just walk through them? Like Sonic or Mario going through coins or rings? No, you can't. To move, you're not allowed to simply hold the D-pad or joystick in that direction. No. You have to painstakingly turn yourself from a standstill and then move in the direction you're facing. When trying to do something as simple as getting the items is a chore, then you really have a problem. It gets even worse when you're trying to jump on enemies. Every time you leap, the camera goes into a downward angle. In fact, you can't control the camera at all. It usually locks into whatever direction you're facing, which may have seemed self-explanatory to the developers, but 3D games don't work that way. You need to control the camera, and whenever you get hit, the camera spins around to face you, which only causes you to get disoriented and get hit again. It would be just as much fun to sit in a swivel chair while someone spins you around and keeps punching you in the face. That's what playing Bubsy 3D is like getting punched on a swivel chair. This seems as if it was the first 3D game ever made, but Super Mario 64 came before this, and that played perfectly. What happened here? Even the blocks look like you can carve them out to make an N64 logo. Maybe it's just that I have Super Mario 64 on the brain because that's what I'd rather be playing! And to be even more annoying, Bubsy keeps talking.
Oh, look! An arrow! Aren't these game designers wonderful?
Yeah, I bet they thought they were clever. Overall, this game just feels unfinished. And what I really mean is that it's like it was barely started at all. I thought this was a prototype of some sort, not an actual finished game that got released in stores. It's a pile of junk.
Most of the games I own are junk. I'm hoarding junk. I surrounded myself with fucking garbage. Alright, one more game and then it's happy holidays and good fucking night. Let's end with Spider-Man Maximum Carnage on Super Nintendo. Everyone says I should play this one, as if I haven't already played enough Spider-Man games. They're all terrible, but maybe this one's okay. After all, I'm not sure how I missed it because it's one of the only Super NES games that's red. Anyway, let's give it a try.
Well, the comic book cutscenes are quite nice. The gameplay? Well, it's a beat-em-up game, monotonous, but fun. The controls are responsive, and the hit detection works fine. The sound effects are good, the punches and grunts you hear all lend themselves to the fun, stress-relieving nature of these kind of games. It just feels good when you hit things. You can climb up on buildings, which offers some variety and breaks up the monotony. It can be a little frustrating, but not too bad. And the music is upbeat and energizing. And what do I hear? It's The Mob Rules by Black Sabbath! I don't mean it just sounds similar, it's the same song, just a 16-bit rendition. It even does the solo. I think it was just a ripoff and that they never got Black Sabbath's permission, but it's still welcome to hear and adds to this game's enjoyability.
That's right. I found a good Spider-Man game. Better late than never. It's no masterpiece or anything like that, but it would have definitely been worth a rental at the very least. Who made this game? God. Oh my God. They did it! They pulled through! Oh my God! They made a game! That's not a steaming pile of fucking shit! Oh my God! They did it! They made a game! That's not shit! I found the gold at the end of the rainbow. Oh, maybe it's not gold, maybe it's bronze or something, but they made a game! It's not shit! It's not shit!